Information is power. 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 Information is power.
Break our asses to providing, and y'all making mutiny? Well, now, no more music, period.
Dad, this is all life.
Sit your ass down. And no more going out. After school, y'all gonna come straight home. You do your homework, your chores, you eat your dinner, brush your teeth, wash your ass, and go to fucking sleep.
Tell the truth.
All right, everybody, this is Information Man. I'm live on the channel. We're going to be talking about Father's Day, what it is to be a father from a black male perspective. I've got my man BMT on the platform with me, and I hope everyone in the chat room can hear my voice. If you can hear my voice, speak. Put a 1 in the chat room. We just want to make sure that we've got logistics right, because you know how YouTube be tripping sometimes. And I want to also make a update on the video that I did yesterday. So put a 1 in the chat room if you can hear. And once again, I want to say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. I want to thank everybody that is a father. Thank you for everything that you do, the contributions that you make. Good, everybody can hear the contributions that you make to being the father that you are to your family. A lot of times, black men in this society, we are often marginalized, underestimated, and undervalued as it relates to our role in raising children. Even when you look at Father's Day versus Mother's Day in our society, there's a bigger emphasis paid on to mothers. And I understand mothers are important because women bring life into the world. But it also takes a father to contribute to bringing that life into the world. And it seems that in American society, the role of the father is sort of marginalized. And when it comes to the black man's role, in terms of fatherhood, we are often stereotyped. There's myths. I remember when I was about 34, 32 years old, I'm 49 years old now, that when I was dating, quite a bit, there were women that would ask me, how many kids do you have? And then when I would say I didn't have a kid, they would find that strange. And a lot of times some women would assume that I got kids with different women, when in fact, black men not all black men have kids with different women. Not all black men are absentee fathers. Black men do what they have to do. They're responsible men out here. And matter of fact, more black men marry black women. You hear me again? More black men marry black women than you may want to believe. Statistically, black men, we do get married. And we know that recently, 2.5 million black men have moved into the upper middle class. I'm talking about upper middle class. And within that class, within all black men, all walks of life, no matter what your economic background is, black men in general are great fathers. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we were rated some of the best fathers in this country. However, it goes unheard, unrespected.
Tell the truth.
And so today, myself and my most honored guest, Brother BMT, we're going to delve into this issue around black fatherhood. I send out a couple of links to Prophet of Thought and Brother Gab Talk Media. I hope if they are around, that they will come on and join us. I'm going to release that avatar so you can see us. I'm also going to utilize, I'm kind of doing this show on this channel the way I would normally do it on my second channel, but I got more people following me over here. So I thought I would do this over here on this channel. And I'm going to remind everybody that's in that chat room right now, if you click on the link in the description of this current video, you will see a link to my second channel. It's the Information Man Speaks podcast. Get on over there and support that channel. And actually, we're on my podcast live right now. I have the podcast turned to Facebook, Twitter, and later on, it's going to port over to all these various different platforms, such as Podbean, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. It's going to go over to iHeart Podcasts. It's going to go over to Cashbox. Okay, it'll go over to all these other platforms. Let's say Anchor, Spotify. So all of this that we're going to be talking about today will be ported over at the end of the show to those other podcasting platforms. And no need for me to put it on the Information Man podcast YouTube channel because I'm doing it over here, but it's going to be on all the other platforms that I'm using. So you're going to see double mics here because this is a radio style broadcast. And I'm also going to be able to have people call in today. I'm going to give out the access code and the phone number if you want to come call in and join the discussion around black fatherhood and what it is. And you've got a movement going on. I've been reading some articles. There's some articles out here where you've got black men coming together, creating podcasts, such as we're doing here to talk about men's issue from black man's perspective. This is very important. So with that said, I'm going to bring on my guests, Brother BMT. Let me go ahead and release the avatar here. Stop that. And there we have it. Let me give him a clap. Brother BMT, you with us? Yes. We're going to tell the truth today.
Tell the truth.
All right, brother.
Information is power.
How are you doing?
Okay, there we go. I got it.
Yeah,
I'm doing good, and thank you for allowing me to be here. And peace and blessings to all those who are here. Happy Father's Day to all the men. It takes a lot of courage and strength to do what we're doing, even in today's climate, politically, mentally, and physically and spiritually.
Yes,
there is a forefront that we do fight every day, 365 days to 366 days, and we don't stop. Even after our children would move out the home, we still will be fighting because our journey ain't gonna never stop. So I'm glad I could be here to do this with you. The minute you said let's do something on Father's Day, I was already going to do a Father's Day special. I think I did one. I said, yo, I'm only going to do Father's Day special speakings, nothing else. This is our day. So we need
Yes.
to be selfish and promote us. I think that's the thing about it. There's so many stats and stigmatism that the black man ain't there, or we're not having children, or we're not raising families. Believe it or not, a lot of men, the madness of the things that we go through, been that of being fathers. What was the first thing they understood when they brought us over here? Separate the father from the family. I just want you to understand that. That was something that the world understood. I had to separate that black man from his family because that is his strength. That is his power. So long as I can take him away from his family, that takes away his power and his momentum of the things that we do. So for me, I've been a father. That's always been my dream. I'm a husband. I've had all my children that are here with me today, with my wife under one roof, and I'm showing them the way. I went from a middle class to upper middle class, but it was not easy. And one of the guiding stones in the mindset of a father is I pass on my legacy to my children. So that way I understand that I will not walk into the promised land, but they will. That is something that every black man knows. I think that's the thing about it, that when they talk about the civil rights movement, those fathers understood that in my time, I will be the bedrock that my children will walk over to. So as to I work in the field, you can be in that classroom and work in there. And when you're in there, you can get the education so your children can be in those offices with that white
Tell
man.
truth.
So that way y'all can live the nice life, have the nice clothes. You know, I don't I get happy when I see a young man or young woman do good, because that lets me know I'm doing my work. My fatherhood doesn't stop at my home. It extends to the school, the community, young women and young men. People know who you are when they see you around your kids. Understand this. Society sees a black man with his kids as two things. One, very marketable. Women are more attracted to a father. Women are more attracted when a woman sees a father with his kids and his woman, they're attracted to you more than a single man, because they see stability and strength. They know that you will die and protect your family far more than anything else when they see how protective that type of man is. Understand, this is why most men fought in most of these doggone movements, because they understood that it's not for me, it's for my family to live on. This is why we do what we do. And so I'm a proud veteran. I'm a proud business owner. I do podcasts with Anchorman, with the Anchor Radio. I've been doing a lot of stuff. I traveled the world. Um, I've been blessed. I've lost two children in my life. I know what it's like to lose a child. I know what it's like to lose a woman. So I've been on different sides of this.
Brother, let me
These are scars that, as a man, that we carry.
let me just say to you real quick. I don't know how deep you want to get into that, brother, because I know it's a sensitive issue. But we may, if you feel like going there today with that emotional issue, I mean, because I don't know what it's like to lose a child. I know I've had friends growing up that lost a brother, a sister. And it's I can't imagine personally how that would feel. Let me go right ahead, because I want to come back to you on
Go ahead.
so many issues we've got. And I specifically wanted brothers on this panel today who have experience with fatherhood. We've got none other than the great Gab Talk Media. Let me give him a clap here. Peace to that, brother.
Tell the truth.
And let me also give a shout out and much respect to another illustrious brother, and that's brother Prophet of Thought. Let me give him a clap too.
Information is power.
I would like to welcome these brothers on board today. We're on YouTube and we're also broadcasting on all the other podcasts, or this will be ported over to all the podcast channels that I'm utilizing at this time. And we're actually on live on Spreaker. Brother Gab Talk Media, I'll start with you first, brother, and your opening statements. You are a father, you are a family man. I don't know what you did today with the family. If you want to elaborate on that, give it to us. But how has it been for you being a father?
Oh man, how you doing, brother? Good to be on the panel.
Great to have you here, brother. I know it was kind of
Happy
short
Father's
notice.
Day.
Thank you. I know it was short
Nah,
notice, but I
fine.
had to get you guys.
Oh yeah, nah, bro. I'm honored, man. I'm honored. My kids are actually out of town, man. Puerto Rico. Um,
Puerto
but
Rico.
yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. So that's a good. You got the sound effects going on over there. But nah, man. What was your question again, bro, about Father's Day?
Basically, how has it been for you, brother Gab Talk Media, being a father?
Oh,
Now, oftentimes when
oh,
I see you on streams, what's the one thing that brother Gab Talk Media says, everybody? He always says, I got to get off now because my family's waiting on me.
yep.
Right. Okay, brother.
Hey, bro. That's how it's been, man. Right there. Yeah, you always got that next thing to do, man. But fatherhood for me has been a journey. Of course, brother, any man with children learn really quickly if you're spending any kind of close time, the tremendous lift that you have, a tremendous responsibility that you have in lifting your children to be supreme examples of yourself, better examples of yourself. And what I'm learning, man, is that you gotta know yourself. You gotta kind of, if you haven't looked into the root of what made you, you miss out on a lot when it comes to instructing your children. I've also learned that if you didn't fix it, you can't really help them fix it well. If you don't know why you had a problem with a particular thing, you are very handicapped at trying to instruct your children. What I noticed that I did was I imagined what being strong in an area, how to become strong in an area without actually becoming strong in the area. And I ended up, creating in my mind, this should help, that should help. Just put them in this program. Just put them on the boxing team. Just put them on the football team. Just make my kid. I spent a lot of time, when it came to my son, trying to make sure that he doesn't suffer the things that I've suffered. In a lot of the areas that if I didn't overcome it, I recognize, man, I don't know how to fix it. Because not only didn't I overcome it when I was young, I actually haven't overcome it today. What I've found is that I've learned to camouflage a lot of weaknesses. And so when you're trying to fix it in your children, you can't camouflage it because they're going to show, hey, that's not fixing this shit. Because you're going to look at your kids like they're camouflaging it too, because they're doing what you're doing. Because you don't know how to fix it, and you have not acknowledged that about yourself yet. So a thing, man, is the truth will be exposed to you about yourself through your children. It absolutely will. And you, in the same denial that you were using on yourself the blinders that you allowed or that you intentionally used so that you didn't see the ugly side of self will be loud and clear 2020 vision in that new life that is yourself. And so it's been a great journey now that I do have some 2020 vision, and there's some regrets, there's some things that I'm proud of, and that's been the journey, man. So being a father is enlightenment. It teaches you more about yourself. It's almost a second chance, a second opportunity. And you got to approach yourself again with love. And then when I say yourself, you got to approach your children, your second selves, with the love that you didn't give yourself. So it's another opportunity, man. It's another opportunity to be patient with yourself. The patience that you didn't give yourself. And I'm gonna end it there. I know I kind of went down the.
But I like everything that you said, Gav. You were on the money. I know when I had my daughter and I watched her birth, I was in the room. I was very much involved, and it was the most powerful thing that I had experienced in my life. And I knew that there was a God when you see how a child is born and the labor that the woman goes through. And when you have that child in your arms and you know that there's a powerful God, you feel that life that is so precious, so very helpless at that stage of life. And you know right away that there's something greater than yourself. And I knew when I had my child that there was something greater than me. I had a different responsibility. And I think that's when I really transitioned from to be honest with you, from just being a regular man to being a real man, because now I had to be responsible for someone more than just myself. And that was a responsibility. There's a little bit of a fear because when you have kids that you are responsible, you have to feed them, clothe them. You got to make sure that you're doing everything to take care of your family. So there's a weight that is on your shoulders. And I think, and it's not to belittle women, because women are one of the biggest contributors because they bring life into the world. But oftentimes people don't realize some of the pressures that lays on a man when he's working and out there trying to support his family, and he doesn't want to disappoint his family and disappoint his children. So there's a big responsibility when you have kids, brothers, and because you are responsible for them, stock, lock, and barrel. I'm getting a little emotional here. What I want to do is I want to go over to brother Prophet of Thought. I love him. Make sure y'all check this brother out. He has a program that comes on every Wednesday and Thursday night. He gets it in over there. Make sure y'all check out brother Gab Talk Media as well, and brother BMT. Let me go over to brother Prophet of Thought and get his thoughts. Brother Prophet of Thought, you have the floor, and I want to thank you. I know it was kind of late notice. Me and BMT talked about this early this morning, and I said, let me try to get some brothers on here that are actual fathers or have experience. Go right ahead. You got the floor, brother. Go ahead.
Peace, brother. Info was good. Big bro Gab, BMT, my dude. What's going on? Happy Father's Day to everybody out there and all the brothers on the panel.
Yes.
Now me, I've been a father for a long time. I mean, I had my first kid when I was like 17. So I mean, I've been at this father game for about 34 years now. When I was a young guy, I didn't know too much. I had my first kid when I was like 17. I didn't have my last one until I was about 30. All of my kids are adults now, even my baby. I mean, my baby is almost 21. And from watching them grow, raising them, teaching them, and seeing parts of myself in them that I noticed, just like I've seen shit in them that I don't know where the hell it came from. I'm with big bro Gab. Your kids are the ultimate culmination of whatever you put into them. Once they become adults, they kind of do their own thing, but up until that point, for the most part, especially if you're a father, because you know mothers and fathers are different. Okay, I mean we do shit different. We rear the kids different. We give them a different form of discipline. You know, our relationship with them is just different. All right. So that being said, the effects that you have on your child are going to be different than the effect that their mother has on them. That goes without saying. I mean, we often have these conversations on here, you know, these whole what came first, the chicken or the egg conversations. But we know in reality that when a father is in a child's life, the father just stands a better chance, you know, for everything, as far as their life go, their education, their decision making, the path they choose. When they got a man in his life, guess what? The chances are high that they're going to do better than someone who does not. Now we know nothing is fail proof. We have people who have faults in their life and they still go out there and fuck up. We know that, but the numbers are on our side on this one. So what I want brothers to know is to never underestimate yourself as a father. If you're in your child's life, guess what? As a black man, you're the best damn father that kid could possibly have. Better than a white man, better than a Latino man, better than a freaking Asian man. Because guess what? The numbers are on our side with that too. Now, we often get into these conversations where the black men aren't around and all this kind of nonsense. And that's true. But guess what? Those brothers who are in those children's lives, they are the best possible father that child could have if he's a black man. That's just a fact. That's a fact. So anybody that refutes that is just crazy, or I can, steer them to the link
Tell the truth.
so they can see it. But what I think often happens is that, especially in black society, we often get curbed from that because, see, we have been trained to think that our old mama is just the most important person in the world. Okay? But that's only for people who only have her. I think people who have their fathers in their life would beg to differ. Yeah, I think they would beg to differ. I know I would, because my old man raised me. Okay? He raised me. And if it wasn't for that man, ain't no telling what I'd be doing right now. I'd probably be dead or on crack or in the penitentiary. The only reason why I'm not is because I fell back on the things that man taught me. Those talks he sat me down and had, those fishing trips, going to work with him, learning work ethic and all that kind of stuff. That man made me the man that I am today. So anybody out there who underestimates the influence, the power of a father, you just crazy. You just crazy. I don't care if you male or female. It could never be underestimated how important a father is to a child. It could never be underestimated. And I don't care if you did raise a couple kids and they turned out all right, even though they didn't have their daddy. Guess what? You're a freaking outlier too. You're a freaking outlier. And I don't believe in making arguments off of exceptions. Because, see, when the father is in a kid's life, that kid is more likely to come out to be exceptional. We're not talking about exceptions. We're talking about exceptional. Why? Because black fathers are exceptional. I'll rest on that for now.
Okay, brother, thank you. Let me go ahead and just say to everybody in the chat room, I want to say peace to everybody. I see Muhammad is the one. I see Gigi out there. I see a lot of people out there. I see JV in the chat room. Sorry if I haven't been able to get to everybody. I'm doing this kind of radio style and I want to kind of focus on what all the brothers are saying, but I'm going to let you know, I'm going to give everybody in the chat room a clap right now, because I appreciate you guys being here. And I also would like you to go ahead and share, when you have a chance, this video in your social media. If you can, I would definitely appreciate that. And as I was saying before, if you look in my description of the video, I have the second channel, the Information Man podcast. What you're hearing today is really what I'm going to be doing on the other channel. I'm still building that channel up. So go over there and click on the link and subscribe and follow me over there. I'll be doing a different style on that channel. But and follow these brothers, Gab Talk Media, Brother BMT, and Prophet of Thought. Definitely check these brothers out there in the chat room. You can click on their avatars and it'll take you straight to their channels, and then you know what to do. So I want to thank you because your support is definitely needed.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
I also want to make an announcement to everybody out there who will be listening or who are listening on Spreaker Live. Thank you for listening. And those that will be listening on iHeart Podcast, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and also Podbeam. You got SoundCloud. We got, what's that, Anchor, Spotify, all the other platforms out there. Those of you that will be listening to this, thank you for listening and thank you for your support. Let me get back on over to my man, because he always tells the truth.
Tell the truth.
Let me get right on back over to Brother BMT. Brother BMT,
Yes, sir.
come on, brother. Give it to us, man. I need your passion. I need your thoughts. Let's get into brother. Let me just get into this. You said that you lost a child, you lost a partner. If you feel like elaborating more, I know it's a sensitive issue. You can yield if you do not want to get into it. If you do feel like getting into it, go right ahead. And also for the rest of the brothers on the panel, I also want to talk about these stereotypes, how black men are stereotyped versus the myth versus what is the truth. And I've had a great experience to be around a lot of black men in what a lot of black men in my organization. And I know for a fact that it's just not true. On my personal Facebook page, I got tons and tons of brothers that are fathers and they're spending time with their family. They're doing great things. People that I've known personally, that I've met through other people. But we're going to get into that kind of talk as well, brother. But go right ahead, brother BMT.
No, it's no problem because I get on the mic because this is part of my purpose. You know, it's I say what I say because it might save a young brother and it might save a soul. My tears are mine to carry. I've lost 2 children. The first child I lost, and like I said, brothers, you gotta understand, man, when a woman puts her life and soul into you. I was out there running the streets like a fool. And sometimes sometimes, man, I know we see a girl and we say, you know, I want her to carry my baby and I want her to be with me. You gotta understand, and the brothers on this panel understand, you can't serve 2 masters. You can't be in the streets and then want to be a father in the home. You can't serve 2 masters. One will yield to the other. I was that man that served the streets. So I had a nice little shorty, and she had a prominent future. And she was with child. And I said, listen, I want you to go to school. You're gonna go to school, and I ain't gonna have you out here, you know, hanging up and sleeping in my bed and waiting for me whenever I get out the streets and shit. Like, you need to be in school. You know what I'm saying? She had a full ride too, volleyball, all that. You know, a lot of brothers we see, men check for prominent mates. Don't believe us men. We don't, just like y'all females, we check it. Men, we check for, I want her. That's the woman I want to carry my legacy, my seed. And though we know that what we doing is not right, sometimes we fool ourselves. I was really in it. She died because of my gangbanging activity. She was killed on her birthday, her alongside with my 8-month-old child, by her own friend to appease another man. I live with that one. I want y'all to understand, brothers, if you have a woman that is carrying your children, that is willing to lay down her life for you, as a father, I plead with you. You got to put down the streets for your family. Because the streets have no respect for your family. You may think they do, but when they finish with you, they will go after what's next. Your sons, your daughters. But understand this, your children will hear your legacy. Oh, my daddy ran the streets. Y'all know y'all brothers heard that. My daddy was out there in the streets running them. My daddy's out there selling it. And your child, especially young boys, they want to live up to their father's expectation. I had another female, but this time I didn't want to be in the streets, so I chose Job Corps. And this is why I don't call no woman God, but I don't have no beef with y'all. That is something between me and that woman. But she got a backdoor abortion because I refused to sell dope. She thought I had a nice job. I was going to Job Corps, and I was going to become a plumber, make some good money. It wasn't the fast money, but it was going to be some good money. I had a nice small 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment. I had an Oldsmobile already set up I had a car set up for us. I talked to my aunt. She was going to get her into a nursing home for her to get a nice job. It wasn't going to be the fast life like I already had and never already had things set up, but it was going to be a life where we didn't have to worry about bullets. But she didn't want to give up that lifestyle. So the lesson I learned from that is that you have to be very mindful of what type of woman you're choosing as a father. You got to be very mindful. I asked God and himself, I said, is it me? Is this my burden? Did I do something wrong to you? It is not easy bearing a child by yourself. It is nothing I wish to any man. I say that and it hurts. No matter what, my children do ask me, Daddy, do you have any other children? I said, you had 2 other children before y'all. That is why I'm so protective of my babies. I will die for them without a second thought. I'm hard on my sons because I don't want them to go through the same pain and affliction that I went upon. I'm hard on my daughters because I don't want to hear that one night that some man put his hands on my babies. These are things that go across the men on this panel. This goes across our minds every day, that I did everything in my hands and my powers that I could. I'm only hoping that the heavens watch over my babies when they go out that door. I teach my sons how to throw hands so that way, as a man, they can stand up on their own 2 feet and look another man in the eyes and speak what I put upon them in their heart and soul. That they be proud Black men in this world. Never ashamed of who they are. Never ashamed of their culture, the legacy, and their history of their people. I tell a lot of men, don't hide from your children your sins, because they will learn it soon enough. That's why I grew a prophet when he said that sometimes you will see the actions of what you did in your past, you're like, dang, did you hear what your son did? Your son was stealing. You're like, I can't believe he did it. Hold up, but weren't you stealing that one time? You didn't think it was going to pass to him? But what you can do, chastise him, but teach him another way. My son stole from GameStop. I tore his behind up. I made him write a letter. I made him repent in his sins. And I spoke to him. I said, son, I stole. I don't want you to be seen as a thief, because you gotta understand, when you go into these stores, they're already looking at you for any reason. I don't want it one day you around the wrong crowd and somebody sees one of your friends stealing, and y'all go outside and you have 5 guns pulled out on y'all. And naturally, you're going to be scared and revert back into a child, and you're going to call out for daddy, but I can't get to you soon enough. These are things that, fathers, we have to think about every single day, whether our sons are on the Caribbean, to whether they're out there celebrating their Father's Days, to whether our sons, they go to school. The climate in the world has changed for that of a black man. What we speak as men, y'all think is harsh, but black men and black fathers speak with authority in their home. That's why whenever the mama says, wait till daddy get home, the children shut up. Because when authority is spoken, all is still. So when we say these type of things, we're not saying it because we're coming at you, but we're saying it because this is what we want to see in our women and our children. These type of things is what we need. Because it's a time now where these myths about us not caring about our families and our children are attacking our people and our children. I encourage a lot of men, take a time out of your day, go by the school. I don't care if your kids aren't even in that school anymore. You still go by that school and be a presence. I got many little boys and girls coming up to me and calling me dad. Y'all forget, man. There was a man or woman out there that was still playing parent, but you know how many men in the barbershop? You know how many men on the side of a corner that literally watch you or watch your back? How many y'all think it was just a coincidence that y'all don't know that y'all dad said, hey man, watch my son when he go down that street, man. Make sure he stay out of trouble. I know Gab told somebody that about his son. I know Prophet. I know Info told somebody, hey man, watch my woman when they go out there. Can y'all look out for them? We try to network with other men of our caliber. Say, yo, watch for my people, and I'll watch for you. That was the code of being a black father. That was our code at once. But see, we're falling from our grace. And for those of us, and I tell this, I had a talk behind closed doors. We're becoming a dying breed. Because if we don't stand up and start speaking our own narratives, other people will speak it for us. And I'll be damned if I have some Gillette commercial or some type of marketing program tell me how to be a daddy. I had to tell that to a man at the VA. Well, Mr. Johnson, as a black man, you should. I said, hold up, white man. Do you raise my woman? Do you put food on my table? How do you tell me to be a black man? Well, you know, we read it up in the DS. I don't care about no book. The book told you that I was a doggone slave that wasn't allowed to read. But now that we did and put in the work, now you tell me how to be a daddy? The scars on my face and on my body and on my chest, my children see my battle scars from me coming back from combat. My bullet wounds and stuff. My baby touched me and they said, Daddy, does it hurt? I said, I do what I did, baby, so that way you don't have to go through my strife. I tell my sons that I tell you my buffoonery and where I came up short. so you don't get caught up with that same type of woman that I was messing around with. I don't speak poison and speak. If I did something wrong to my woman in front of my child, I will make sure that I correct it right then and there and say, baby, I'm sorry. And I tell my sons, don't treat your mother or other women like that. Y'all gotta understand, man. Y'all don't understand how many doggone children, they look at the implemented model of the man from the father. Don't y'all hear them when they say, well, these men out here, these fathers, they ain't up. Well, hold up. What father are you addressing? What man did you see the model of? You see, as we listen to a lot of people talk, they talking from pain. Back then, when you used to be able to have that man to pull your side and sit down with you. You know, my woman will always ask me, baby, why are you so hard on the boys? I have to be hard on my boys. Because the world is not going to let up off of them. It's not going to stop throwing swings at them. So I need to teach them how to have a counter punch, how to be able to learn how to discipline themselves when that police officer gets in their face, how to learn how to hold their tongue.
Right.
These are serious lessons.
Well, brother, let me
go ahead.
Everything that you said was powerful. Let me go ahead and do this while we have the time. I've got brother mute yourself because it's a lot of back noise, and we're broadcasting live here on other platforms. Thank you. We got brother D Darrell on the panel with us. Let me give that brother a clap. And what I want to do, we also got Baba. We've got Elder Rashawn on the panel with us. What I need to do is let him know, brother Elder, just unmute yourself, unmute yourself, Elder. Unmute yourself, because I had to mute you because of all the back sound while brother BMT was talking. So unmute yourself on your device so we can hear from you. This is about Father's Day and what it means to be a father, but a black father in particular. So brother Elder Rashawn, will you please unmute yourself, brother? Unmute your device so we can hear from you. You got to unmute yourself. He can't hear. Unmute your device. Unmute yourself on your device, Elder. He can't hear. Let me go over to an Elder. Let me know when you have figured out how to unmute yourself, and then we'll come back to you. Brother D Darrell, are you there?
Okay, is that okay now?
Okay. There we go. We can hear you, Elder. I had to mute you because, see, when you come onto the panel, anything that you're doing is going to bring a back sound that's sort of irritating to, it's a lot of feedback. So anyway, we got brother D Darrell on here, brother Prophet of Thought still on here. I want to get to him, back to him. Looked like Gab had to leave for a minute, but brother Baba, Elder Rashawn, what are your thoughts about Father's Day as it relates to black men? There's a lot of myths about black men as it relates to being fathers, but we know that there's a lot of black men like yourself who have been there for your family. You've worked hard. You've had to deal with a lot of things in society. You've been committed to family. What are your thoughts about this whole issue around black fatherhood?
Well, a lot of it is misconception. A lot of it is lies. You got a lot of black fathers that take care of their children, that give them education, let them know that they have to work, to take care of their families and this, that, and the other, But the myth is, a lot of that stuff comes from programming and conditioning, this, that, and the other, the welfare program, and all this other, the gender war got a lot to do with it. But they have a lot of brothers that take care of their children. that provide for their children, that protect their children, and protect their neighborhood where they stay at. So a lot of that is a myth, and a lot of it comes from, other entities. So that's my thought on it.
Okay, brother, elder, let me definitely give you a clap for that, because you said a lot of great things there. Hang on for a minute. I gotta give some recognition to someone in the chat room that super chatted me. So let me I gotta bring back up my screen here. I was super chatted, and I want to thank that person for doing that. I thank you for the super chat, but let me what am I doing here? Let me pull this up here. While I'm doing that, let me take a quick intermission while I'm fixing this over here. And also, I am going to bring people on to call in as well. So while I'm taking a short intermission, let me just, I'll be right back. Here's a little music for you.
Information is power. You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel. Now, let's get back to the Information Man show.
Okay, I wanted to say thank you to Carbo for the 1999 super chat. I appreciate that, sister. You said it's a powerful discussion. Thank you on behalf of the men I have listened in. Happy Father's Day, the sister said. Let me give her a clap for that. Thank you, Carbo. I hope I'm saying the name right, but thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Now, let me get back. Let me go over, because I'm going to come back to, let me go over to D. Durrell. Then I need to get back to Prophet of Thought to have him render some more thoughts. I want to talk about the stereotypes that we have all grown up hearing about black men. But Brother D. Durrell, how are you doing, brother? Brother D. Durrell, are you there? Okay, there you go. Hey, brother, how you doing? All right, brother. You're hearing a little bit. We know you're a father too. That's why I kind of wanted to get some brothers on here who have experience being a father. But we're talking about fatherhood as it relates to black men. There's the stereotypes, but there's a lot of black men like yourself who are doing the right things and have been doing the right things. But of course, society gives us a different label. But what I'm hearing out there's a lot of black men right now. There's a black fatherhood movement of black men that are podcasting and doing these sort of things to talk about these issues, to address our issues from our perspective. What are your thoughts, brother? Okay, something happened. It must be some technical difficulty, because Brother D. Durrell just some kind of way he fell off the panel. So let me go over to Brother Prophet of Thought now. Prophet of Thought, brother, you've been very patient. Is there anything else you want to add? Any thoughts that come to your mind when we talk about Father's Day? Because personally, I think every damn day should be Father's Day. We shouldn't have to wait for one day to acknowledge fathers, and particularly black men, black fathers, and what they're doing. We should recognize it every damn day or every damn week. What are your thoughts?
Well, I would be in agreement with that, but unfortunately, Brother Info, we are in the minority with that thought. Yeah, I mean, I'll give you a case in point, not to get too far off the subject, but I remember I was riding, because I was out riding today, right? Driving around. And on Mother's Day, I rode the same route I drove today. And I passed by two restaurants, and I mean, The parking lots, they were exploding. Lines were around the building on Mother's Day. Do you know I rode by those same restaurants today at about the same time that I rode around on Mother's Day? You think that parking lot looked the same?
I
Nope.
bet you it did not look the same. 100%. You're right.
Nope. You know why? Because, see, fathers, we have been indoctrinated to believe that fathers are optional. Okay.
Okay.
Fathers are optional because, see, we have minimized fatherhood to this, being able to provide for a family and protect the family. But there's so much more to being a father than that. I mean, when you talking about your children, man, you're talking about giving your children guidance, direction, counsel, training, integrity. I mean, all of that stuff comes with being a father. I mean, it's just not about you going out, getting a job and buying them sneakers and clothes. There's a lot more to it than that, because, see, they will eventually outgrow the things that you bought them, but they will never outgrow the things that you taught them. You understand? They'll never outgrow that. So what you're teaching them is always going to be way more valuable than the crap that you buy them. And I think that we get caught up because we're a materialistic group of people. So we think if a brother is handing a woman money for a child, that's enough. Okay. If a brother is making it so a child has a place to live and has a pair of sneakers and clothes and all of that, that is enough. But it's not, because a child requires way more than that. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I'm experienced. I'm a father 4 times older. I got children from the ages of 34 all the way down to 20. So I've raised teenage boys. I've raised teenage girls. I've had preteen BS problems. I've had the terrible twos. I've seen it all. All right. I've seen the sweet 16s. I've taught them how to drive. I've been through the whole gauntlet of parenting, far as males and females go. And nothing to me is more inspiring as a father than to be able to say that none of my sons are in prison and none of my daughters are swinging on nobody's stripper pole. Okay? Because at the very least, that's what you want for your children. You don't want your sons in the penitentiary, and you don't want your daughters on somebody's stripper pole. So if you got at least that to say, you might have did a half decent ass job with your kids. I tell my offspring all the time that I don't think I was that great of a father. I really don't. Especially looking back on it now, because there was more shit that I should have done, and there was a lot of shit that I shouldn't have done. But they say different. Oh, Pop, you was great. But see, I look at myself, I don't think I was that great of a father. And if I had to do it all over again, I would probably do it totally different with my sons and my daughters. I'll probably do it totally different. But I think that's how we are as Black men. I think that we are the best fathers. Why? Because we are the most ostracized. We are the most marginalized. Okay? We are the last chosen, first blamed. So who knows better more than the Black man how to circumnavigate his way through this world? That's why we are the best fathers, because no one has to concentrate on circumnavigating his way through this damn world in the United States like a Black man does. So of course, when you have that person teaching the next generation, that's going to be a person to put things into those children that no one else can. I mean, you look at the CDC reports, brother Info, it speaks for itself. When a Black man is in a child's life, he spends more time with his children. He spends more time helping his children with their homework. He spends more time talking to his children about their day. He enrolls them in extracurricular activities more, eats breakfast with them more, sits down, chats with them, talk to them about life more. I mean, it's a whole litany of shit, and it goes on and on and on and on. Why? Because the Black man is great. The black man is great. So of course, of course, he is going to be the best one to teach his children because he knows what this world is about. He knows what's in store for them. He knows what stands against them. He knows all this. So when you got that black man, I will say this again, and this is for you ladies out there. If you got a brother out there who wants to be in this child's life or children's life, it would be best for you to let him get over your feelings, get over the fact that he don't want your ass no more. For those children's sake, let that man be in that child's life if he wants to be. Now, if he don't want to be, that's a different show. That's a different topic. But if you got a brother who wants to be in those children's lives, I beg you, ladies, let him. Let him, because you're not going to find a better father than a black man who wants to be one. I'm just saying.
Very powerful. What you said, everything you said was very powerful. It was on point. We're going to have, let me just say this to everybody in the chat room that's listening right now. Everybody support each other in the chat room. Check out each other's channels, and you know what to do. Everybody give each other some love. We got good people in the chat room. Some people are content creators. Check them out. Click their avatar and subscribe to their, follow their channels. Give them some support. CRU is supposed to be coming on. Let me do this right here. Brother Art, I see you in the chat room. I'm going to send you a link on your Google, and I want you to come on board and add to our discussion. Let me just say this. I did a video yesterday, everybody, and I did sound gloom and doom about the whole thing around Google Hangouts, and we're doing a Google Hangout right now being gone away. What I do know is that they've got this thing called Google Chat, and they got this thing called Google Meet, and it's a 50-50 chance whether Google is going to add this new software to the Google to replace the old classic Google Hangout. Well, from what I understand, it's going to be gone. The Google Hangout will be gone in 2020. And until they implement whatever they're going to implement, because we really don't know what they're going to really do, they keep flipping and flopping what they're going to do. This might be just right now in the last year that we can do any Hangouts, and we still don't know whether YouTube, not YouTube, but Google and YouTube are YouTube's owned by Google. We still don't know if Google's just going to abandon it from the YouTube platform altogether. We don't know, because I know for a fact by looking that Google Meet and Google Chat are two separate apps on your phone. So maybe they're going to add it. Maybe they're not. I said it in the video that maybe they are. But right now, it looks like it's a feature that's going to be taken away. And I think it is going to impact those of us who do Google Hangouts, those of you who do the most bulk of your content in the Google Hangout fashion, is going to hurt you until Google decides when and where what they want to do. So that's my disclaimer to the video that I did yesterday. With that said, let me go over to my man, D. Darrell. D. Darrell, can you speak now? Is everything on the clear for you, brother? Because the sound before.
Brother. Yeah, I apologize about that, man. Sorry about that.
Okay, I thought you got snatched by the police or something. The bill collector was knocking at the door or something, brother. I thought it was something like that.
Yeah, man, I apologize for that. But I like to say, man, in regards to Father's Day and so forth, I think that we cannot express the value of a father being in the household enough. I think that there's been a lot of things in our community that has hindered the ability of the black man to become a better father. And through all of those different roadblocks that we have encountered, we still have been able to a certain extent, still be able to become effective fathers. We would like those numbers to increase a lot more, but even through that, we still have been able to do a decent job of raising our children whenever we have the ability to do so or are not hindered. In regards to Father's Day, as far as how, in regards to my experience as a son, that a guy that was raised by his father and mother, and in a 2-parent home, me and my dad, we didn't have a lot of conversations until I became maybe in my mid to late 20s. I mean, my mid to late teens. I learned a lot from my dad indirectly. He worked a lot. He had his own business and he worked a lot. He also, brought me along on some of those things to teach me a work ethic. And a lot of what I learned from my dad was not the direct contact that we had one-on-one. It was more about what I seen him do on a daily basis. My dad was a guy who taught me hard work directly in that respect. He didn't play around and do a lot of things. He was very disciplined. He didn't do a lot of things that would hinder his ability to take care of his family. He was strict on us as far as our religious and spiritual beliefs, things like that. He was keen on us. One thing he stressed to me was become better, as far as I want you to do better for your children than I'm able to do for you. That's something he always, reinforced to me, that he wanted me to always be better than him and not to not be better than him or fail at doing that. Build upon what I'm doing, the life that I'm in, that I have given you. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me wait a minute. Something's going on. See, this is is somebody outside? I'm hearing cars and
who driving down the damn road?
I mean, god damn. Who's Brother D. Durrell? Who's outside? Is that Brother Elder? Brother D. Durrell?
That's BMT. That's BMT riding around with his Four Loko with his top down and shit.
All right. No, wait a minute. Wait a minute. This is very important though. Come on. We got to get back into focus here. That's why I was like, whoever's got outside interference, cut that off. We're broadcasting live here on other platforms.
If that was me, I'm back in the house, so I'm gonna make sure that was me.
All right, brother, man. It sounds like you out there getting a fish sandwich or something, man.
I'm just outside sitting. I was outside on my balcony, but I'm back in the house. So.
Okay, D. Durrell, you said something, which is why I'm glad you're on this panel, man. I'm glad I made a great decision bringing you on or sending you the link. You said that you came from a 2-parent family, and that's another thing. That's another myth out there. There has been this notion that Black women are the only ones that are raising their kids by themselves, when in fact you got Black men that are raising kids by themselves too, and Black men that are involved in the household and are married. This is another thing I noticed, is that even when you're divorced, I was married for 15 years. I've been divorced for some time now. Even when you're divorced, and you are involved in your child's life, you're paying bills, you got your child on your life insurance, you're taking care of the child's health care, you are every step in the way. And I noticed that sometimes some Black women, I'm not trying to indict all Black women, but there's some Black women who will say, I'm a single parent. How the hell can you be single when you're single in a sense that you're not involved with someone maybe, but you're not single as it relates to taking care of that child. If I, as a man, are involved every step of the way, financially, spiritually, and mentally, if I'm involved every step of the way, then as a Black woman or a woman in general can't say that they're single if they're getting my assistance in some fashion or form. Whether I'm there for school, I'm taking my child to when they're sick, I'm going through, we may be in separate households, but I'm contributing every step of the way. Therefore, women cannot use that term when it comes to men that are involved every step of the way, that they're completely a single parent. They're not.
They should be saying they're co-parenting.
Yes, but you hear a lot of women say, I'm single, and they'll say that even when the man is completely involved in the child's life, every step of the way financially, as I just had rattled off a few minutes ago. And I'm just saying, I got to tell the truth. Okay, brother, got to tell the truth about these things. So, D. Durrell, that's why I went on this rant right now, because what you said was powerful about coming from a 2-parent household. They think that not all Black people, Black men, Black children are being raised in just single families.
Hey, info man, if can I interject?
Go right ahead, but let me give you a clap. This is brother CRU. Make sure y'all check him out. CRU Reality, right, brother?
Reality.
Reality, CRU Reality ADOS. Check out his channel, and everybody in the chat room, let's grow. Support each other's channels. Let each other know in the chat room that you're following whoever you're following. Go ahead and do that, folks. And I gotta say this once again. Everybody that's in that chat room, go in the description of this video and click the link for my second channel, which is the Information Man podcast channel. All right, because I'm doing a different thing over there. This is sort of an example of it. So go right ahead, brother CRU. And at some point, I'm gonna open up the lines to let people call into the program. We're gonna go to CRU. This is how we're gonna do it. We're gonna go to CRU. Okay. Then I want to go back over to brother BMT. I want to go back over to BMT because he hasn't talked in a while. Then I want to hit brother Art, and then swing it back over to Baba, brother Elder Rashawn. So go right ahead, brother CRU. Go right ahead.
Okay. Like in my like the way I was raised, right?
Yes,
so
sir.
My parents were raised. I was raised by two parents, right? They
Yes,
got
sir.
divorced. They got divorced, but they got remarried. So now I got four parents. I got
Right.
two dads, two moms. You know what I mean? My stepdad is up here, damn near finna visit me in a couple days. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like my daughter called me. She's on Instagram. She's calling me. Like that's her. You see kissing me. That's from a few years ago. You know what I mean? She's 15 and fucking up niggas that's in college. You know what I mean? She speaks four languages and everything,
Okay.
college level.
All
You know
right.
what I mean? Like that's what's up. This is what we do. Black people, this is what we do. We're not bogus. You know what I mean? Like anybody can check the stats, check everything. Black men are the best fathers. Period. You know what I mean? Period. 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 We are the strongest fathers, especially as ADOS black fathers. So everything everybody complaining about, they just don't like hearing that shit. They don't like hearing all the bullshit. Yeah, I be drunk sometimes. Yeah, I be doing this shit sometimes. But guess what? Everything is getting worked out. I'm taking care of shit. We're taking care of shit. Info man, I don't know if you got kids or not, but I bet you if you do, you're taking care of that shit. Everybody on this panel that have kids is taking care of their shit.
Yeah, brother. I have a daughter. Most of the brothers on the panel that I brought on today are examples of men who are fathers. Now, brother Prophet of Thought, he's been a father for 1,000 years. He's raised a family. Brother Elder,
Prophet of Thought is King Solomon.
Yes.
Oh,
yes, sir.
God.
Okay. Well, got a little bit of a comedy here. Okay. CRU, brother. The bottom line is, and we see the picture of you with your daughter on. The bottom line is that you are another example of a black man that is a father. You've been dedicated to your daughter. I hear you talk about your daughter oftentimes, and that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of. I'm going to say this again. I was doing some research. There's a big movement going on right now of black men podcasting and trying to change the narrative, even outside of YouTube, right? And so now I'm sounding like RBR talking about right.
Go.
So
because they hate you because you're black.
Yeah. So brother, it's very funny. So we got black men that are changing the narratives in our society, and we need to just keep doing what we're doing, change the narratives. We don't all fit these stereotypes, and of course they're going to use the stereotypes to shape us. Mass media is going to always try to do it, and we know there's an attack on black manhood. You got this thing called toxic masculinity, which is totally ridiculous. And so it's almost like, this is a question for everybody. It's almost like it's dangerous now in American society to be masculine, because now we're being labeled as toxic. I'm tongue tied right now. Toxic.
So
let me help you. Let me help you out, man. You're trying to say
go
toxic
ahead, go
masculinity.
ahead, go ahead.
Let me help you out here, brother. You my brother. You my brother. I don't mind helping you out.
Yeah, help me out. I'm having some problems here.
Yeah, he's talking about toxic masculinity, y'all.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, brother. I'm having some problems. Now,
there's no such thing as toxic masculinity.
Exactly.
Like, all right. So like I did a stream earlier today, right? And I was playing my tracks, right? And I started listening to the lyrics, right? I'm like, well, damn, this the same shit that we talk about in the manosphere. And I was talking about this shit years ago.
Right.
Like we are toxic masculinity. Like when I meet my dad, when I like I've talked to Angry Man, I've talked to Grinch, I've talked to everybody, right? When this shit happens, oh, we didn't know it was like that. But damn, when you see your dad and your dad was strict on you, when your dad was beating your ass, when your dad was doing this, oh, that's toxic masculinity. No, it's not. That's what a man is.
Yeah.
But motherfuckers don't know that. I'm sorry, but people don't know that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like that's really what it's supposed to be.
Exactly.
And people are shaming us for being men. They're shaming us for, you know what I mean? Like, no.
All right, CRU, let me go for the sake of the respect to everybody on the panel, and you're making great points. Let me go over to, because I want to actually swing it back over to brother Elder Rashawn eventually, and get over. I want to get over to Art, but let me bring it over to BMT, and then I got to go to Art because he's waiting patiently. Brother BMT, are you there?
Yeah, I'm right here, brother.
Okay, I want to tell you right now, thank you for your patience. I'm trying to navigate the panel, and we got my man the Goon on, and my frat brothers on here. Oh, 6, 8, 5, 6, 8, 8. All right. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, man. It's good to see you here, man. I didn't know whether that you would be on here, brother. My frat brother, 858 to you. I'm glad you're on here. I haven't seen you in a minute, man. You've disappeared somewhere into the black and gold dust or something.
And y'all didn't know my dad is an alpha too.
Oh, okay. Very
Shout out
good.
to y'all.
Very good.
Shout out to y'all.
Nah, man. I'm with all that. No, I've been been kind of falling back a little bit. I've been kind of dealing a lot more, I think, with the Black Brain Trust channel. I've been kind of dealing with them a little bit.
Yeah.
Now let me. And kind of, but anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. Let me shout out. I've been a big supporter of their channel too. Let me shout out the Black Brain Trust. Everybody in the chat room, everybody listening, check out a YouTube channel called the Black Brain Trust. Those brothers are doing incredible things. They talk about STEM, space travel, science. I mean, Bitcoin, everything, man. The brothers talking about everything, biomechanics, engineering. Those brothers are called the Black Brain Trust. So check out their channel. Like your life depend on it. I'm still in a little bit of a line for my man Prophet of Thought here. Now, brother BMT, let me do this. Let me go over to you, get whatever thoughts are on your mind. I got to get over to Art. Then I got to swing it back to brother Elder Rashawn to see if he has any other thoughts he wants to add. Then I want to come to brother Lagoon and then swing it back over to Prophet of Thought. So go right ahead, brother BMT.
Yeah. So the thing about it is this: right now we're in the climate of it's an uphill battle. Now, when it comes to the toxic masculinity, those weren't terms that came from a man. Those are terms that came from effeminate talking points. Okay. The thing about it, when it comes to men don't do much talking. It's more so put in the work. I always tell my wife, as well as I tell the people, why do you do the things you do? Because I have to train up my children in a way that they should go, because I won't always be there.
Right.
I like I spoke before, I teach and I train my sons in certain mannerisms, as my father did before me. So that way, whenever they hit something as an authoritative, one of the things about it that, especially when it comes to men have to have a guideline checking point of just when to learn to stop and shut up. And you see, my dad always said, if you feel like you've grown, step to me, but I'm going to knock you right back down. I'm going to check you. And whenever I thought or even thought it in my mind and I'll look at him, somehow he would just always know. He would just always know. And I was gonna do a talk on that. Dad, thank you for all those ass whoopings you gave me. Because there's been times where I would get either it was a boss or it was the police or different types of things where I wanted that effeminate mindset where, you know what I'm saying, when you're dealing with mama. And see, there's a reason why when daddy will always have to, sometimes when he raises his children, he has to pull them away from the mama and raise them separately. Not to say is that any disrespect to the woman, but some things, whenever a man sees his son fall or he sees like his child get hurt, he doesn't always react. The first thing your daddy gonna say, get up, get up. And the child will look at the daddy like, hey, this nigga just staring at me, but he's not coming to me. Because he's teaching you that you're going to take bruises in your life, but it's not when you take those bruises, it's how you get back up. So the child gets up because the child don't see reaction from the father. And that's the first lesson that the fathers usually start teaching the boy. You all right? You good? All right, I'm proud of you. Come on.
Right.
Lesson 1 achieved. So these type of instructions that we teach our sons and the stuff how we teach our daughters, like you already beautiful, you're gorgeous, you don't need no other man validation. I'm the validation you need. Focus on me. You know what I'm saying? That those types of things that we instill into our children are cornerstones to their success. So I don't take for granted the things we do, but see what's going on right now is that we're seeing these get greeting cards of thank you, mommy, for being the best daddy, and these different things where it demarginalizes the influence and the voice of reasoning that the father gives to the children.
Yes.
And I want you to understand it's a war on us black men and those fathers.
Crazy, ridiculous, crazy, stupid point he just made, because there's a girl in my gym today that came on Facebook. I don't even want to interrupt you because I'm sitting there saying, oh my Lord. That point that brother just said right here, it's so fucking crazy what he just said. Because here's I saw some says, oh, I got 3 kids and, you know, happy Father's Day to me.
Okay.
That's what this woman was saying. And the thing about it is this.
On Facebook, man.
You'll never hear men try to say, I'm daddy and mommy. You'll never hear black men run around and say, I'm daddy and mommy. They'll say, I am your father.
Yes.
We don't try to step into the woman's lane because we understand that this is my lane. I will work it the best way I can. I can't. Right. My girls know I can't braid their hair, but I try. I put it in 2 little pigtails and say, you look sexy, babe. You look good. Dad, I look pretty in my dress. Yes, you do. Stand right by me, and we look good together. I teach my daughters and my sons how to be proud of themselves and how to have that self-esteem, because the world is going to judge you off the content of your skin. Do not believe these types of media hypes that they tell our people and our children. You be that media hype. This is why I try to tell the men, you're going to start seeing it and listening to it, but see how you kind of reacted is by you be that guiding stone for these children. When women, I can't tell you how many times, let me tell you right now, man. Do you know how often women will approach a man when they see him with kids? Why? Because they wonder, how do I get a man like that in my home?
Damn, this dude cooking.
Like, because you gotta understand, because no matter how much they say the black men ain't putting in the work, when they see a man walking with children or a man is protective of his babies or holding, coddling, pushing a carriage or doing grocery shopping or anything, that man is gold, because he's that silverback gorilla that will die and protect everything that he has built and created. To that life,
that's right,
to that home, to that cornerstone that he has put blood, sweat, tears into. And see, right then and there, that to a lot of people is public enemy. Number one.
Right. Let me just say,
go ahead.
let me just say this, brother. Just like Brother Nagoon is saying, you cooking and you throwing it out, you're putting it out there, you're just putting it where the ghost can get it, you're putting it at the root of it and letting them eat it at that root all the way up to the tutor. It's truth what you're saying, complete truth. And let me just say this right now. Let me just say this, everybody. Let me say I have Brother Rogers report. The Rogers report. I want to thank you, brother, for super chatting me. He says, Happy Father's Day. There is nothing more important to the development of a man on earth than the dad. Those that don't value their children having fathers in their lives against the advancements of the black community. He is 100% right. Thank you, brother, for that. And thank you for the super chat. Now, brother BMT, as usual, you put it out there. You put it and say it like it is. And I appreciate that. And we're going to keep it going and going. What I want to do is I want to go over to Brother Art, who's waiting patiently, swing it back over. We got Brother George on here. We got Underrated Darkness on here. Shit, we got a lot of heavy hitters out here.
Info man. No. This panel is epic. This panel is awesome. How did you do this? How did you pull this off?
Well, personally, I gave some of these brothers some late notice. Because I know people with their family, but I'm glad that George is here because we need his strength because he's a father, grandfather as well. Let me go over to Brother Art right now and let him put a little bit of his art, his professor, a professor himself, put some professor on this thing called Black Fatherhood. Let's give it up for Art, y'all. Clap here for that brother.
Hey,
Brother
what's going
Art.
on, fams?
Oh, hey,
happy Father's Day to the panel here.
The Omega Sci-Fi himself. Brother, come on.
Now introducing Brother Art, the style.
Throwing up the hooks.
Brother Art, give it to us. Brother, give it to us.
¿Cómo va, amigo?
Yes,
¿Cómo va?
Estou bem, muito cansado porque eu estou no voo longe tempo.
Too. They speak Portuguese.
Isso. Eu entendo. Mesma coisa aqui também.
They speak.
Fala, irmão.
Folks, they're speaking a little bit of Brazilian Portuguese. Little Brazilian Portuguese there. Them brothers are fluent in that stuff. Now, Brother Art, let's get back to English, brother.
Okay, my brothers. So I just shout out to Brother D. Durrell, Brother BMT, Brother Crew, Brother Baba Rashan, Brother Prophet of Thought, Brother Info, Brother Mao Nogon, Brother JT, known as the Underrated Darkness, Brother George, and then everybody else in the panel. Peace to everybody. Happy Father's Day.
Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings, good brother. Good elder.
Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings.
Yes, sir. I can't stay too long because I just got back. I just got right out the airport a few hours ago, so I'm back. Okay. But yeah, man, I've been listening, and the whole father. It seems like the black man has the biggest dilemma out of all the other groups as far as fatherhood and trying to coin it and where we belong. Everybody else just. They have a position, they just go ahead and do it, but we always have to do a tug of war just to show that we're a father, a good father. We have to fight the lies and the stereotypes, but I think me and you, Info, we pretty much had the same a similar story as far as our pops. Basically they left around when we were younger and they had a lot of problems with the mom and all kinds of things happened. And so it's kind of weird, like people always keep poking at me saying, well, man, shouldn't your father been around? You got to think about it, man. If the father that is not in his right mind, you don't know what the child's going to turn out to be.
Right.
So that's what I told my dad. I'm like, I told him don't feel bad. I teach college and high school and I got my own house, I'm good, but in the meantime, I suggest that whatever things that you had to work on, take the time to do that. I'm the son telling my father that, so, I mean, I just said, just thank God that I'm not in the deep in the system, you know, and doing all kinds of crazy stuff and then
Right.
blaming you. It was his fault. But no, you know, people have problems. But you know, I took this experience because my mom, you know, before she passed, you know, she raised me and always kept me around positive men because she knew. I mean, she was raised in you know, a two-parent household in the South.
Right.
That's why I felt it when BMT people I don't think people caught it when BMT said cheering. That's my roots. So I do it.
Yeah,
But
that's the roots right there.
she was raised into that, so she took all of that, you know, and brought that to the family when they were together. But the problem was, you know, my dad was a pretty boy. He's a, you know, light skinned, freckle face, redhead veteran, you know, Los Angeles. Women were just throwing it all left and right to him, and he just gave in, you know. And then after that, you know, I just destroyed the house. You know, mom, you know, they were fighting a lot. And so, you know, since he was gone out of the picture, she was like, okay, I'm gonna have my son hang out with the coaches. He's gonna be with the pastor. He's gonna be with the landscapers. You know, anything that's going to put some kind of male energy in my son, I'm gonna do it.
Right.
You know, and so my mom was an educator.
The truth.
So her whole thing was like, yeah, you can do all that other stuff, but you got to have some education with it. She was always pushing that. That's why when y'all hear me on these panels, it's usually not my ideal. It's the stuff that she knew that would work because she was a teacher. So what I'm just saying is that, you know, I took all that information and I put all of that in my son. You know, so I raised him with those values. You know, I make sure that whatever you're going to do, yeah, you want to have that career, but you got to have some education to hold it tight because there's a world out there that is so, I mean, they just licking their lips waiting to do all kinds of stuff to you when you go out there. And I can't always be there. So I got to give you all these tools and everything to empower you so that if it's time for me to help, at least that education will buy you time until I get there. You know, so that's the thing of a father is that, and it's funny, man, and I'm making it real short. I often get people telling me, you know, these last few years that they just even afraid to do anything wrong around me because they feel like their father is watching. So
That's
I
powerful, brother.
so I know that I have if someone tells me that, I know I have a responsibility to use that power for good. So if I do have that, then basically I want to lead, I want to help lead whoever in the right direction, what, you know, the best way I see fit, and then back up and let them grow on their own. And that was the problem. That's the thing that my dad probably would have hindered. So, I mean, he's okay now, but he's still kicking himself that him and my mother broke up even after fourth. I call him the Black Liz Taylor, but after fourth marriage, he's still kicking himself that he should have been with my mom's. But that's just what it is, man. You have a responsibility. You take all the things you learn, rather if you are raised from a single mom or whatever it is, manhood is not negotiable.
Right.
You know, especially fatherhood. You got no choice. If you put that child in this world, you got no choice. It ain't an option. It's gonna come back and bite you in the ass if you lose your position. There's a lot of guys out there that are wondering why they're not really making it and they're not really doing too well. Sometimes it could be a chance that you didn't do well for your child. And I'm done.
Woo! Very powerful, brother. Very powerful. Very powerful.
Bonito.
Let me go. Let me go ahead and do this. I'm gonna go to the elder, get a few words from him. Then I'm gonna swing it over to Nagone. Then we're gonna have to I'm gonna go to my man Underrated Darkness and George or whoever came on. I just want to get everybody's input into this. I want to make sure everybody can say everything that they want to put on the table. So let me go over to Elder Rashan Baba. How you doing again, brother? Drop us some more jewels, brother. Drop us some more of what you got to say. What's on your mind, Elder?
Oh yeah, I'm just listening at the brothers. I mean, they laying out some truth.
All right. And you know I'm glad to have you here.
Right. But the main part about this whole situation,
Yes.
this shit has been orchestrated to be the way it is.
Yes.
That's right.
That's right.
It has been orchestrated from the power that be, the dominant society. All that shit is programming and conditioning with welfare, this, that, and the other, and it brought in all this other dumb shit, got us divided. And when we got a lot of good black men, lot of good black fathers that teach discipline,
Yes,
that teach order, that teach you how to dress right, how to comb your hair, how to do this, do that. I wasn't raised by my biological father, but I was raised by, a man that worked every day, a man that had discipline, a man that put order in my life, this, that, and the other. Although I was not raised by my biological father, I was raised by a person that, that was a godly person, although he was a Christian, but he was a good man. He believed in righteousness. And that fed off on me. And then he taught me how to work and provide and take care of your goddamn self. And that was a good thing, And they got a lot of good fathers out here. They got fathers out here, not even the biological father. They even got some good uncles that take care of their children, or take care of their brother's children. Somebody might pass away and they step in and give some guidance, give some order, and that's my thought on it. Okay. And the brothers and all the brothers that was on the panel, all y'all brothers did a fabulous job of bringing out the truth about why we in the situation we in.
Right, Elder. You're on the money too. Let me just say that you said something that I think is going to be maybe a controversial topic to bring up on this panel before we end this, and that's the issue of black people have always been sort of we're not a nuclear family. We didn't have a nuclear structure. We had people in our midst, in our family, that weren't necessarily blood related to us, and we would call them an uncle, or I know when I grew up, I would say that was my uncle or something, because although my father was not really in my life once him and my mother broke apart, I had other male figures in my life, whether it was through sports or in the neighborhood. I grew up in one of those old school neighborhoods where you can relate to this, where you better be in the house before the lamps outside turn on.
Yeah, I know about that one.
and if you got caught doing something, stealing candy from the store, and the neighbors caught you doing something, guess what? You got a butt whipping from the neighbor. You got a butt whipping when your mom or daddy came home. Yeah. I grew up in a neighborhood where it was okay for you to get a butt whipping from the people in your neighborhood, right? If you stole, they would be like, "We know you stole. We're gonna get you," right?
Yeah,
they put your britches.
And then when you go to bed, you won't have no butt at all. You would think twice.
Yes. So we need some. I did a show on this. Well, I think Underrated Darkness was with me. I did a show 2 years ago or a year ago where I said we need some James Evan Jr. fathers. So we need that. So let me do this, because I want to get to Underrated Darkness and I want to get to all the brothers. Let me go over to Nagoon and get his thoughts before we get to brother Underrated Darkness and George, and let them lay out their opinions. Go ahead, brother Nagoon.
My brother, information man.
Yes, sir, Elder.
The elder gonna break loose for a while, but I'll be back. I got something to do.
All right,
y'all don't mind.
Okay, I appreciate you being here and everything like that, brother. Thank you for being here.
I'll check back in.
Okay, clap to you, brother. Okay.
Peace and blessings to all the brothers on the chat room, and happy Father's Day.
All right, peace and blessings to you, brother.
Let me just say this right now to everybody out there once again listening in the chat room. Thank you for being here. Make sure you share the video. And everybody out there that's listening in Spreaker Live right now, thank you for support. And those that will listen to this on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, all the rest out there in the podcasting world, thank you for tuning into this. We're talking about Father's Day. And as I said, this is Father's Day, okay? African-American male fathers, black fathers. We're talking about the myths. We're talking about what is the truth. as it relates to black fathers. And I got some dynamic brothers on here. Brother Art, BMT, Brother Baba was on here, CRU, D Darrell. We got my man George, Woo! Yeah, my man George. Boom. And then we got my man Underrated Darkness, Nagoon, and we got Prophet of Thought in the house as well. So now with that said, Nagoon, break it down to us, brother.
All right. First of all, happy Father's Day to all you brothers out there, out in the audience, of course, and of course on the panel. These are some butter-laid brothers, the term I like to use, butter-laid. These brothers are laying
Feliz
it
dia
down.
de pai.
Ah, isso, amigo, isso. Hey, que você disse? Muito bonito, né? Bonito.
Obrigado.
All right, okay. But sitting here looking at these other brothers and listening to what they have to say, it's off the chain. It's speaking the truth, the dead bang truth. I just love hearing it. I love hearing it because this is really what we look like as opposed to what a lot of people would like to say. I was vexed this morning when I got up and I saw this thing, in my Facebook chat that really disturbed me. But yet, we should speak some truth to this power. There is a study that did come out, and it was backed up by the CDC, that shows that black male fathers are of the most involved in their children's life of any ethnicity. These are facts. This has been numerically verified. And, there's a study that backed up Charles Blow, who, writes for the New York Times, actually printed it there as well. And they got feedback or they got blowback, if you will, or tried to blow back, and people tried to fight it. Many of your black women attempted to do the same thing, to fight it. And, what they couldn't fight were the numbers. They couldn't fight that. So it shows that the black man, even today, under very difficult circumstances we do have, are of the most involved dads of any ethnicity that exists. So I just want to bring some truth to that, backed up by governmental studies. All right. And the government usually is not, trying to put you in a positive light by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, the media game, that's part of the media that we have here, is to bring some truth to that, to kind of bring some balance to that as well. Some sisters know it, but many do not. I talked about this little article, this little thing today where this sister gets on and talks, I have my 3 children and, 3 children, mind you, I think by 3 different dads. Okay, I just wanted to say that 3 different dads, 2 different dads at least, but 3 different dads, I believe. And yet she says, happy Father's Day to me or whatever. Wild. This is wild. Which I'm not going to get into that side of the conversation, but there we are, and that's still that myth is still being perpetuated, and it's time for us to kind of step to that. Talking about the whole uncle piece, and man, brother information man was dead on the money. Yes, I am uncle to a lot of kids. Uncle Carl. That's how it is. That's who I am. All right, because my brother, who his son, my nephew. All right. My brother raised half of the kids that he said that my nephew's friendly with. He raised half of them. They went in and out of the house. He raised half of them. It's part of what we do. It does take a village to raise a child. That's an old African proverb. It is something that has been germane and persistent in our community since we've got here. Okay, we've had to have it like that, and that's how it's always been. So that's something that's been a positive for us as well. I remember when I was a little kid running down Harlem Street, 145th Street, and all that. Father had his office there. Miss Jones down the street, if she saw me acting up, I'm gonna tell your father. Oh my gosh, you got nervous. And if she came after you if she came after you with a strap, and your father or your mother heard about it, you were finished. We're done. Couldn't get caught out there like that. All right. Even the gangsters, New York Willie. I was looking up at his window one day. Me and my boy Pop. We about 7, 8 years old, looking up at his window, trying to look at the little dancing girl. I'm gonna tell your father. Here's a straight gangster. Tell him I'm gonna tell your father. All right. And next thing you know, I took one of the worst spankings I ever had to take in front of everybody in the community, damn near there, because I was up there cutting up with my father. You ain't gonna be cutting up like that, not around me. Don't know how these G's come up here telling me what's up. So everybody kept an eye on me. Even the gangsters said, you can't be around here. So I'm just sitting here saying, we had that going on in our community, and I'm not, and of course I'm not putting any highlights on gangsters or anything like that. I'm just saying this is just how it was. Your community was a community, all right, and we have to stick to that. We need to talk about that. We are fathers. Many of us have done a wonderful job. We have had a very difficult time in our society and culture where they have tried to destroy the family. But even underneath that extraordinary pressure to destroy it, we still have survived and in some respects prevailed over much of that. We are the least drug addicted community in this country. Contrary to popular belief, the least. All right. And we have the most involved fathers of all the community. So, in any community. So I just want to lay that out there to all you fathers who are doing the do and are working with other kids and teaching, tutoring, mentoring, and all that. You guys stand up and take a bow. Take a bow. We acknowledge who you are. We acknowledge you every day. We acknowledge you at all times. Okay, because at the end of the day, if we don't do it, nobody else is. But the truth has got to get out there. I just want to make sure that we are understanding of this, and that we take some pride. Let's take some pride in that. Let's not go with the negative narrative. We have to countervail that. But at the end of the day, let's keep talking truth here, because all of us are dealing with it. I know I'm sure all of us are fathers here. I hit a couple of brothers up on this panel this morning. Happy Father's Day. I know who they are, and they responded back. I'm sorry I didn't hit everyone else up that I didn't have a lot of other people's contact, but the brothers that I did, I hit them up. Because this is part of the YouTube family, and many of us are fathers. We're putting that message out there, and nobody else wants to really acknowledge it. You look out in the media, you don't see anything that's positive that says anything positive about black men. You can go into the Hallmark card section and see happy Father's Day to mom and all this kind of craziness. It's ill, and we have to counteract a lot, and we got to put this information out here. But we have done a great job. I just want to tell you, brothers, man, I love all y'all. I want to keep the truth out there. Get the facts. Talk about them openly, and don't be afraid of it. Don't be ashamed of it. Okay, black man, we are the most resilient people out here. Okay, and I'll say that till the day I drop it to the ground. All right, gentlemen.
Hey, let me just say this, Brother Nagoon. I love everything that you just said, brother. I appreciate you. So let me go over to someone's got some feedback. Let me go over to let me see, Underrated Darkness, and George, I'm coming for you, brother, and I'm expecting some long wind from you. Underrated Darkness, brother, you are my brother. You do, and everybody in the chat room, that people that are listening, make sure you check out Underrated Darkness, his channel. Give him support. The brother does really great content. So Underrated Darkness, what are your thoughts? Give it to us the way you do it on your show. Give us the truth.
Well, the truth is, brother, that I was a father for 10 years ago. My son has passed about 4 months. When I was with the ex in New York. So, and also I'm a godfather.
Okay.
So for me, I'm not gonna say it's personal, but to me it's a mission to talk to the brothers, to be honest, be there for your kids, no matter what society have put on us. Do whatever you can. I had the best 4 years of my life with my son. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so he would have been 10 this year, this past April. And I told any brother, I don't care what problems you have. If you don't have to be with the one, you don't have to be with her, or be with your child, and teach them the right way. You teach them the truth about how this world perceives him, and give him the vehicle that, so when it's time he get older, he would know. And so I instilled that when I'm a God, because I've been a godfather for a long time. So I instilled that to my God kids.
Right.
And let them know, this world is not gonna give you a fair shake, especially us as men. You got to meet that head on, and you got to be around brothers that willing to fight. So all I could tell brothers out here, and I commend each and every brother that on here, the ones I know and the ones I don't know, that I see y'all do a fine job, and I'm a fan. I'm a fan of what you're doing. But the thing about this, that don't be afraid to tell them what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Stand up to it, and be around brothers that's going to be strong,
right,
psychologically, and have that. I say that warrior attitude all the time. I got the warrior attitude, so I ain't giving it. You got to teach them that. And that's all I'm going to say. Thanks a lot. Appreciate you. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, brother. I appreciate you being here and giving us your thoughts. Now, I've got my main man. Thank you, Underrated Darkness. The Underrated Darkness. Make sure you all support that brother, his channel. He does really great content. Like I said, support him. Now, let me go over to my main man, George Baker. All right, brother. George Baker, brother.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, man, I like your avatar too. Go on, brother.
Yeah.
Go on, brother. Tell the truth.
I look at it like this, it's DCP, direction, correction, and protection. That's what fathers is there for. Being a father is a thankless job. Like, you don't always get the adulation and the pat on the back or the appreciation that you would want. But like my father told me he got all of that when he could step back and look at that. When he was able to put smiles on his children's face and know that his family was taken care of. That's what made my father feel good. It didn't always have to come from "we appreciate you." And he instilled that in me. People ain't gonna always say we appreciate what you do. Yeah, I mean, as a man and as a warrior, you're not gonna always get that. But like for me, I'm about to sit down and have dinner with my dad, my wife, 3 of my 4 children, and my grandchildren. And I grew up without my mom. I was raised by my dad. I didn't have my mom in my life from 5 to about 35. And my father instilled work ethic in me. I as a kid, I watched my father go to work in freezing cold weather, living over here on the East Coast, as an engineer, freezing cold. And a lot of things I didn't understand about manhood that I understand now. And I learned all of that from my father: work ethic, no nonsense, do what I said because I said so, and you might not like what I'm doing now, but you'll appreciate it as you get older. You'll understand what it's like to be a man, in this society. Not understanding all the racism and all the things he had to go through on jobs and all the things that our fathers had to experience. And now as a 44-year-old man, I understand it. I see it. Some of the things that I didn't agree with my dad, I understand why he was the way he was, because now I understand manhood. And I'm teaching that to my 27-year-old son and my 11-year-old son. So, as a man, our job is direction, correction, and protection. It's not about, it's not always about you're not going to always get pat on the, especially in a society today where me being married 13 years and being a Black father is hard. It's hard in a society we got women's liberation, Me Too, and women's everything. And everything is anti-family. Everything is anti-family. And it's not the Black man's fault or the Black woman's fault. This is a system that was set in place to keep the Black man and woman at odds. It's always been that way on the plantation when they was breaking up our families, and still now. There's always been certain systems that's been set in place to keep the Black man and the Black woman at odds with each other. And we're still going through that today. And because of lack of information, we beat up on each other. So I'm telling Black men, we got to have a brotherhood, and we got to reteach Black men how to be men and how to be fathers, because it's hard. It's hard in the society that we're living in today, but we got a lot of Black fathers out here. But we got to start communicating. We got to stop moving as individuals and move as a brotherhood like other ethnic groups do. Me being Black and Latino, Latinos operate that way.
Okay.
The Black side, we have to learn how to operate as when you see another Black man on the street, speak to him. Don't give him the ground. How you brothers doing today? We got to have conversations. Right. Some brothers out here want to be good fathers, information man, but a lot of brothers out here don't know how to be. They never had nobody teach them. That don't mean that they don't love them, their sons. That don't mean that they don't want to be with their children's mother.
Right.
They don't know how to be. They never been taught.
Well, let me just say this, brother, and I want you to give examples of maybe in your own experience with your own family, how you've gone about instilling these values. But we know that I have to bring this up because of what you're saying. We know that the family courts system works against men. Even when you have men who are paying child support, who want to be in the life of their child, there's always these entanglements. We know that, and I got to be honest, tell the truth about this. We know that there are situations where women have used the children as weapons against them in terms of using the courts and child support against men who are trying to do the best they can to be in their child's life. And the family courts really interfere in a lot of particularly men in general, trying to balance between child support and also being in the life of their child, and also then at the same time dealing with the woman that they were once married to, who may still have some emotional feelings towards the man. And we know that there's entanglements, brother. Can you speak upon that, or speak upon anything I said? I know I said a lot.
Well, the family court is something that comes last. Before we get the family court, we deal with our dysfunctional sexual appetites.
Right.
That we have. Because we've been decultured as a people, and devalue. We devalue each other. We don't value our penis. The black woman don't value her womb, because we don't have an intact culture that we're being bred up in. So by the time we get to fucking court, we already like that's later down the road. It's when we first meet each other. It's when, how you doing, sis? You got a minute? It's what our intentions are in our mind. It's when she gets. It's when she's going out. It's when she's going out to look for that guy. Like, we are a decultured people without a direction. So for me, I'm a father and married to 13 years because my father taught this stuff to me. My father used to treat me differently than he treated my sisters, and I hated that. I hated my father for a long time as a kid because I didn't understand manhood. And my father used to always tell me, I still remember, I can hear his voice. Son, you might not understand this, but you're going to understand one day. You're going to be responsible for a family. And I didn't understand that as a 13, 14-year-old kid, but he was hard on me. He was hard on me. He didn't give me no breaks. I got my breaks on Broadway. I ain't getting no breaks from my dad. You know what I mean? He always rode me to be the best that I could be. And he always told me, he said, nobody's ever going to want to hear your excuses as a black man. Either you producing or you ain't. So you got to get out there and make it happen. You got to work hard. And I watched him work hard. He worked 60, 70 hours a week at times just to take care of us. You know, and so his actions, just having that type of man in my life, and always, if I had a question, I can go to him. And then I had my uncles, I can go to them. I always had men that I can go to and sit down and explain. First time I had sex, the first time I caught an STD, any fucking thing. I'm talking about anything. I had these men that I can go down and talk to that can give me direction, correction, and protection. So as a grown man, it was nothing for me to have to take care of it was nothing for me to take care of my kids, because that's all I ever known. All my uncles, all my father, they all took care of their children. So now when you got a group of boys growing up that never had that, then what do we expect? So I just think that we got to have a brotherhood, because we got a lot of great fathers out here, a lot of great fathers. And you got a lot of brothers out here with good intentions, but they don't know how. So that's where brothers like me, brothers like you, Nagone, we got to be dealing and talking to these brothers and helping these brothers out. That's our job. That's where we come into play, because they see us. They see us. You think these kids don't see me walking up the street with my sons or with my grandbabies, and they wondering like, damn, how old head do it? Because they don't have a clue of how to do it.
Right. Right.
But that's where we come into play, man. We can't expect the system to fix our communities. It got to be the active fathers that's in it. We got to do it. Yeah. I rest on that.
Let me just say this, Brother George. That is one of the occurring statements that brothers that I deal with that are locked up in the prison system that I deal with, the young men, they always have told me when I engage with them and talk to them, they will say that one of the reasons why they feel they lived a life of crime and they've gotten themselves in gangs and gotten themselves in trouble, they said that they did not have, they thought in their estimate, the proper male role model or proper father in their life. They wish they would have had their fathers more involved in their life, because the gang became their father. The life on the streets became their parent in a sense. And they said that they know that is a key reason. And in many cases, they've turned their life around. Those that I've talked to that are paroling, they've turned their life around. In some ways, when I'm in there working, brother, I almost become a de facto father for them, because I'm telling them all the time, don't come back to prison when you parole. Don't do this. These are the services that are available for you out there in the community. Don't do this. Do this. Giving them some some wisdom, whatever wisdom I have, brother. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Bro. Check this out, right? I've been on trial 3 times for very, very serious crimes.
Okay.
Right? Where I could have never been home, right? I rebelled against my father at a certain age. Man, my father was at odds because I told you my father was hardcore.
Okay.
And ex-military, he didn't fucking play. And I rebelled against him. And I had my other two of his brothers, they was in the streets. You know, my family is African American and Cuban. So I had family that was in the streets, and I went into the street life. I was getting money. Got myself in trouble. But I'm gonna tell you what saved my life. The very things that I hated about my father is what saved my life. Because when I sat in that prison cell praying to God to give me another chance, I didn't hear God's voice. I heard my father's voice. The things he used to say to me.
Boy, that's a powerful piece. That's powerful. That is powerful, man. That's powerful.
Yeah. I never forget it. I sat on the floor at 3 o'clock in the morning, man, making prayer. And I'm praying to God. And the voice that came into my head was my father. By all the things that my father used to say to me, it was catching up to me. And the very things I rebelled against, me sitting in that prison cell was what he was trying to protect me from.
Yes.
And that's when I started to change. But if I'd have never had that father, I would have never heard that voice.
Right.
And that's why we got to be fathers and advocates to ones that don't. It's very important.
Very important. I agree with you. Very, very powerful. Hey, Brother George, that's why I'm glad that you came on board and you dropped that those dimes on us, because you were on 100% point. Let me, because I'm going to swing back to Brother D. Durrell, and but let me go over to Prophet of Thought. He's been waiting very patiently as we get close to concluding this program today. I know a lot of folks have time to spend with their family, and I know there's a lot of other streams that are going on today too that people want to check out. But Prophet of Thought, Brother Prophet of Thought, do you have anything you want to add as we get close to concluding the program today?
Yeah, first I want to say thanks for having me on, Brother Info. It's always good to be down here at the old Information Man show. I appreciate you having me on, brother, on all the brothers on the chat. I appreciate all y'all too. I'm just gonna say this, man. When we think about fathers, right? Oftentimes when we think about a father, we just think about somebody who donates some sperm. Let's be clear. Let's be honest. All right. That's what we think about inside Black society. In Black society, when we think family, we don't think mother, father, children. We think some woman and some kids. That's what first comes to mind with us as Black folks. Let us be clear. Now, I don't know if it's been perpetuated by us, by the media, by the power structure. I don't know. But that is the way it is. But see, I've always been of the mind state that women have kids, men build families. So it's hard for me to see a family being complete if there's not a man in it on top of it. And I mean a competent man, not just some man, you know, who got a penis.
He's back.
A competent man. All right. So when we talk about this father thing on this Father's Day,
right,
we have to keep in mind that some of the best fathers out there are fathers who are fathers intentionally. And I don't mean just some dude who done crept up in the left ear of some girl and say, hey, mom, I want to put a baby in you. No. The intentional fathers who say, this is what we're going to do. We're going to have a family. We're going to have kids. We're going to have this. This is somebody who's ready to take on the role of fatherhood. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some brothers who done had some oops babies with some chicks and turn out to be decent fathers as well. They make the adjustment. I know, because my first kid was an oops baby. Now, all the rest of them after that wasn't, but my first kid was an oops baby. So I had to adjust. I had to get right. Okay. And I learned that by watching my old man, because I was raised by my father. And I think that's the problem. Just to piggyback off of what Brother Macon was just saying, the reason why we have these problems, man, with young males being men and young men being fathers is because, see, it's hard, or should I say it's harder to become a man when you don't have one to pattern yourself after. It's harder to become a father when you don't have one to pattern yourself after. And that goes with many things in manhood, not just fatherhood, but manhood in itself. If you don't have that image to pattern yourself behind, and it may not necessarily be your father, it may be your uncle, your grandfather, the dude who stayed across the street.
Right.
See, me, I take this position because, see, I am a patriarch, okay? My old man is dead, all right? I have sons and daughters, and I have 5 grandchildren. So I'm the old guy now. You understand? I'm the old guy. So even at this age, with adult offspring, I still have a role to play as a father, as a patriarch, because see, my sons are going to be patterning themselves after me. Okay. And how my grandchildren turn out is going to be based on that pattern. If I hadn't taught my sons anything as a father, how can I expect them to teach their sons anything as a father? So I think we have to be very cognizant of these patterns within Black society, and we need to get it clear about family. Okay, we need to get it clear about family, because see, when we talk about family, we need to stop calling these things family that don't have fathers in them, because we know the ones without fathers are more likely to have abuse, drug usage, incarceration, crime-ridden, poverty. I could go on all night with the litany of things that could possibly take place for the simple fact that there's not a man involved in that life, in that household, in those children's lives. And I say again, you know, we talk about the exceptions all the time. Oh, you know, I knew somebody who grew up without their father and they grew up to be a millionaire. Yeah, you know somebody. Name me 100 of them. Name me 1,000 of them. I bet you can name me 100 people who turned out not to be shit because they didn't have a father. I bet you can do that. So we have to be conscious of these things, man. And we have to call things by their proper name. And far as I'll say this, and I'm gonna jump off because I'm actually getting me a Father's Day dinner cooked tonight. Don't be jealous, Negroes. Don't be jealous, goddamn. Don't be jealous. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna get off. Now, we often like to say that Black men ain't shit, right? So what you're also saying is Black fathers ain't shit. I get it. But if Black fathers ain't shit, why is it according to the white man, we the best? I would think you Negroes would believe that we was best. You know, when the white man's saying it, you don't believe nothing us other Negroes say. The white man say it. Y'all still don't believe it? You still don't believe it? Check it out. If you want, I'll put the link in the chat for you so you can refer to it yourself. Because Black fathers, when they're involved in a child's life, they are the best of fathers. They are the most involved. And I'm talking compared to Latinos, Asians, and whites.
This has been statistically proven.
Absolutely.
And nobody's talking about it.
So if you are a father and you hear this crap about how Black fathers ain't shit and how men ain't in these kids' lives, guess what? I'm a true believer that men on this panel and men like us, we can say the same thing that these women say all the time. And what is that? Not all. And I'll rest on that, brother.
Information.
Thank you
is
for
power.
having me, brother. I appreciate it. Y'all come on down to the channel. Check me out, TPOT Media, Wednesday and Thursday nights at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You know. So I will leave you.
Send me a link, dog. Send me a link, bro.
I will leave you with 3 words like I always do.
Okay.
And I'm out of here. Peace.
All right, brother. He's out of here. Woo! That's a powerful statement, but that is, woo, brother Prophet of Thought. Check him out on Wednesdays and Thursdays on his channel. Very powerful thoughts. Let me say what's up to the great Black Shark in the chat room. Thank you for being here. We got 26 267 Technologies. Thank you for being here as well. We got Cool Genesis 87 Live. Thank you for being here and supporting me. What I want to do right now as we wind down, let me go over to Brother D. Durrell, get his last statements, whatever's on his mind, and hit each brother up to make their last statements. And let me say to Nagoon, brother, I'm glad that you're over there doing work with the Black Brain Trust, brother. I've been asking folks to support what those brothers are doing. They should have 1,000 people in their chat room, because they're talking about stuff that Black people need to know: technology, science, things that we need to be have our heads on right about and be in front of educationally, mentally, because if not, the future is going to pass our Black behinds behind if we don't get on top of that type of knowledge. But let me go to Brother D. Durrell.
Very
How
key
you
point.
doing, brother? How you doing? Thank you, brother. Thank you, nigga. Brother D. Durrell, give it to us, brother.
All right, man. I'm glad to be back. I just want to throw out a few things. Just kind of looking at things from a mental health standpoint, just things that I encounter as we discuss the power of being a father in our community. You know, when I counsel kids that are diagnosed with behavioral disorders such as ADHD, ADD, and oppositional defiance, 85 to 90% of those kids don't have fathers in their life.
Okay.
When you look at kids, you look at any juvenile delinquent, whether they male or female, that's in the prison system or that's in alternative schools that I provide services for, same thing, 80-90% don't have fathers. And you know as well, working in the go ahead.
Can I ask a question, brother? Let
Yes.
me ask you. I believe in every fact that you're saying right there, because I happen to know that's true. So wouldn't drugs be disserving this? And maybe we would have to deal with this from another perspective?
Drugs in the terms of psychiatric drugs? Are you talking about?
Give them the ADD drugs, Adderall, and all that kind of stuff, because they have a lot of well over medication.
That can be a deterrent. Yes.
Okay,
but that's an whole other topic. I mean, I could discuss that, but but yes, drugs can also have a negative developmental effect on children, particularly if they're taking those drugs between the ages of 5 and 8 years old. It can have a negative effect. But with that being said, the most important thing is that when you don't have that other parent, it makes parenting more difficult for the mother, and also the child is less likely to behave accordingly if that father is in that home. You know, the child is less likely to develop maladaptive behaviors that they bring from the home environment to the school environment.
That's true.
And throughout the community.
That is
that is consistent, and like I was saying, even in the prison system as adults, you see these grown men in prison, they'll say the same thing. So there's a long term or like in research, there's a longitudinal process in that, from the ages of when they become school age to the prison pipeline. And the main cure for that is not medicine, as he kind of talked about in question in regards to that, but a father can heavily decrease the occurrences of both male and female encountering those type of experiences from the time they're in pre-K up until adulthood, and the statistics can show that. And so with that being said, the father is very valuable. We are overly criticized and not being actually appreciated enough. I also want to challenge other brothers, and this is something that I've decided to do in the last 5 to 10 years, 5 to 8 years since I've been in my practice and just within my family and so forth. If I encounter a man no matter where we're at, and we have a discussion about family, and he tells me he is not taking care of his children, we have a problem. And so I began to question this man in respect. Now, I question him on the reasons why he's not taking care of his children, and I encourage him to do so. Now, there's some men that I've did that have encountered that with. They didn't take it too kindly, and then there's those that were like came back to me and was like, "Damn, man, I do appreciate you for encouraging me to I'm not doing the right thing. I never really even thought about, or even that there are guys that walk in the streets now that have kids and so forth all over the place and don't care to see any of those kids. And I think that as men, we have to start holding other men accountable. And so I think that is, and for even if, let's say, if the statistic was 1 out of 10, if we could increase that to 3 to 4 out of 10, we'd be making progress in that respect. So I just wanted to just discuss that. I appreciate your information, man. You do a lot of great work. Love your panel today. Was powerful. Probably one of your best panels you ever put together. And I look forward to hearing from you again, guys.
Hey, brother, thank you for being here. Let me, D. Durrell, I appreciate everything that you said, brother. And we're going to have to possibly get together, me and you and other brothers, and talk about those issues that you were saying about the drug use, substance, and how that has an impact. I would definitely like to do something around that issue, because I think that's another important issue that sometimes gets lost in all of this.
I could definitely, I mean, I deal with that on a day-to-day basis, just like you do. And I have a lot of research and stuff to support and talk about all areas in regards to that. So whenever you're ready for that, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to participate in that.
All right, that sounds great, brother. Let me go ahead and thank you. And let me give you a clap, brother. You've been great today.
Thank you.
Let me do this, brother. I'm going to come back to Underrated Darkness and Nagoon. But BMT, brother, BMT, give us not your last words, because we want to hear more from you again, but give us your last words on this particular stream today, this topic, this issue. I'm just glad that things worked out and brothers were able to come over and participate. I know people would be with their families on a day like this, those who have family. Well, give us your last words, brother. Everything.
So pretty much everybody's been giving amazing words. I'm hoping that this is not the last time we meet. I'm also challenging, and I'm knocking on wood that we start having whole Black Men Coalition podcasts, where we actually start sitting down and talking about mental health, abuse, different things that are going on in the community home, whereas Black fathers, we are openly discussing these things. I think that would honestly be a powerful weapon when you have a whole panel of Black fathers and productive men. We're talking on this. So hopefully this is not just only on just the holiday that we do this, but we actually start doing this more, that we can have Black father coalitions to do these type of things. So that way people can see the presence that the Black man is still home, and that we definitely have our ears to the ground. These kind of things are very much needed. I just got a text from, a young girl telling me Happy Father's Day. Granted, I am not her father, but she said Happy Father's Day because I am that presence of a father that she needs. We got to understand, men, that our work is never done.
Right.
And that the time and the climate change for different things is coming at a head, with the way how society is changing, with the way how different laws and policies are being passed. These things are counterintuitive to the home
that
we have designed. Understand this. The Black man by heart is designed to build homes, not destroy homes, but build homes. I ask you to debunk me on that. Understand? These
Right.
type of conversation. Why? And the thing about it, every man spoke passionately from his heart and soul, because these things are our genetic being of what we are. Not these things that they speak of. And I'm not slinging mud at you, but I do draw a sword to you, because I understand that they do not want us to say these type of things. That is why they try to silence our voice. I'm very happy that brothers like D. Darrell, Magone, the other brothers that came on, that we are stepping in places and we are going out there showing the imagery that we are still fighting the fight. I challenge all men, if you do see a brother or a sister by the wayside, because what you won't do, the streets will step up and do. What you won't say, the media will say, but it won't be the message of what you want to be heard. What you don't tell your woman and your child, there might be a man behind a pulpit or altar that might tell them, but it might not be how you want it to be administered. You gotta understand, black men, there's a war. And right now we need all men at attention. I am not alone. I am very thankful that Information Man did this. So that way I could see other black men, and when I see them when they go live, I send my people over there to them. I send BMT crews over to them and say, yo, support these brothers, support Info, support Art, support George, support all of them. Listen, man, we got to get rid of all these classisms that they try to put on us, that have us divide. Back then, when you see another brother right there, he said, yo, man, I need help. We would walk up and say, yo, man, I know you got a family that needs to eat. Let's make sure that you're squared away.
Right.
We don't understand this, man. We just had a young brother that has 4 babies that is dead now. 4 babies that is dead now. And I asked the men, who's going to step up and play the substitute father for those kids? Will it be the streets? But the street always needs new bodies. Or is it going to be a black man that's saying, hey, you don't need to be out there, baby. You don't need to be out there, son. Come with me. I'll take you to a football game. I'll take you to ballet or something. Something to keep you from going astray.
Right.
I wondered, what was that boy's last thoughts or the last conversation he had with his father? Because the father and me wondered, when did the father sit down and stop him and say, the road that you're going is destructive? See, these are the kind of talks that, as a father, genetically pop in my head.
Right.
And these are the things that we need to have. When we see these girls walking out there half naked, or pretty much naked now, we ask ourselves, where's the daddy? Because naturally, if I saw my little girl going out there, I put a hoodie right over her. Oh, you ain't going out like that. Dad, no. No, put some clothes on. Because I know how these boys think, but that's how I would think. So I understand that they will come after you because they want what I put into you, and they want to either take it, manipulate it, or destroy it, or use it for their own. So I have to make sure you are protected at all times. These are things that we got to understand. Mental health is very real. A lot of children, I encourage you, brothers, if you find out your child has any type of mental ailment, do not look at your child like they're diseased, because they might have ADHD. They might have some type of stigma. Do not treat them like that. Don't say just pray it away. No. Learn about it. Help them. Help them learn how to get by in life, so that way they don't have to be codependent on medications and steroids that will alter their way of processing life. You gotta understand, our people did it before all these types of different equations started coming in the home and substituting us, the main equation. So now I'm asking us, what are we gonna do now? That's the thing I'm asking. I mean, if you want, like I said, Info already knows. If he calls me up 9 times out of 10, I say, I got your back, brother. Like I said, right now, my channel, BMT is down for right now. It'll be back up in July. BMT2 Unfiltered is on and running. I'm pretty cutthroat. I say what I say and I mean what I say. I'm also going over to Black Avenger. I do podcasting and I do radio shows. Okay. But also I make sure that I say what I say as a man and I don't regret what I say. That I want it to be understood that I hold my children, my family, my community accountable. That is the role of a black man, to have order.
Brother BMT, let me just say to you once again, thank you for this all started with you this morning when I contacted you and we had a conversation. So you were the building block of what turned out to be a fantastic stream, I believe. A lot of powerful brothers were on here, and I loved it. So I want to thank you. I'll be in contact with you. We'll do this some more. Thank you for all your support. Let me go over to Brother Nagoon, and then I'm going to go to Brother Underrated Darkness, give him the last words. Say what's on your mind, brother, as we get to a conclusion now, brother. Say what's on your mind.
All right. Awesome panel. Nothing but truth spoken here. Powerful brothers. If you look at this panel, every single brother here is a father, black man. We come from different walks of life, and look what we're saying, the same things. So that's at the end of the day, that's what we are, family. Being a man, manhood is totally consistent with what we are. This has nothing to do with whether or not you were raised with a silver spoon or whether you came up without it. We are all under that same umbrella. So I think that's what I really got from here today. I think brothers said some stuff that, damn, it brought some tears to my eyes, to be quite frank with you. So, this is what it's all about. And we need to have this going on a lot more. Instead of some of the beefs and some of the other crazy stuff we have, we should be talking about this positive stuff because, man, we are under siege. And I know many of us thoroughly understand this, but some seem like they don't. And we have to consistently fight against this. So, much love to all you brothers here and respect to everyone. And Information Man, you are the man, brother. Wonderful live stream and God bless. I'm going to drop off, but I really thank you for inviting me here today.
Hey,
to be with these distinguished, real men of our community.
You actually surprised me because I did not know if you would come on. I just thought maybe you took a step back from YouTube and you got other things going on, and I understand that. So when you came on, brother, you shocked me because I hadn't heard from you in a minute. I haven't seen you on the stream, on some of the panels and what have you. And I'm pretty sure you are aware more intimately what happened with Brother Obsidian and how YouTube is what YouTube is doing to the channels and how they're coming down on content creators. And so there's a lot that we are trying to adapt to and deal with these, as long as you're going to use a platform like YouTube. But other than that, brother, thank you and what you're doing. And thank you for the support and what you're doing with the brothers over there with the Black Brain Trust. I think that is fantastic. I got to give you a clap for that.
Hey, thank you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have to get with the sciences and the technology and the business stuff and all that. I see George, he talks about that. He talks about the inventors and everything else like that. He gets into that. And these other brothers talk about that as well. These are the things that we should be, this, if anything, we can have an entertainment piece. We can have whatever we want to have in the manosphere. But as long as we also function as a repository of good information to help us uplift as well. I think that's very, very important for us to have that. And I see there are brothers who are dedicated to that as well. And that's it. I myself am kind of stepping back from some of the, from some of the craziness. I don't want to get involved in that. I certainly want to get involved in stuff that is going to really uplift us. And then some of the craziness is fine. Let it go on, let it happen, let the guys get involved in certain things. You know how we roll. That's just how we roll. But there's some things that I certainly feel we should be putting some emphasis on, and that's kind of where I'm kind of lay my hat more so than anything else. But this is a great panel. This is the kind of stuff we really need to consist with all the other stuff that we have going on. We need to have this kind of stuff going on a regular and consistent basis. Joe was right. Let's have more of this kind of thing going on a regular type of deal. And that's it. That's all I have to say. And God bless you all, man. And Information Man, thank you, Frat. Awesome.
Hey,
awesome.
Frat.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff.
It was great having you here, and this has been awesome experience. And thank you for being here once again. That was the brother Nagoon. He's brother's very dynamic. You catch him a lot on the Obsidian show. He's on there speaking truth to power. The brother's been a fixture in Black YouTube, and I want to thank him for being here. Let me go over to my man. That's the one and only, the underrated darkness. Come on, brother. Come on in and give us your last words.
I just want to appreciate that you had me on, a distinguished black man that making a mark in the world. And I just want to say the Godfathers is in our community. You can make a difference.
That's right.
Do not let society define who you are. You are a Godfather. You are a father. You are making a difference. And even like if you're not a father, you are making a difference. Let's 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 get back our wrangler we used to do. Let's understand that this world do not want us to build family. Nah, I ain't going out like that. And I know we ain't going out like that.
That's right.
No. The answer is no. We do whatever we take to save our kids. Even if it depends on our life. That's how I feel about when I with my God kids. Nah. You're with me, I'm gonna protect you. I'm gonna nourish you. Even it's gonna be my last breath. At least they can carry on. So salute to you, information. Happy Father's Day to everybody. And let's do this again. Let's show the world that we the ones made this. We the one ruled this. And I thank y'all again. And even in the chat, happy Father's Day. And I will definitely, join your brothers in the near future and do whatever I can to put the mark.
Well, brother,
community.
Thank you. That's the underrated darkness coming in on the broadcast. I want to thank everybody that's here and remind you that we have been podcasting this whole YouTube segment today on a variety of different platforms. It's going to be porting over to Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, SoundCloud, Anchor as well. You can catch it on iHeart Podcasts as well. So it's going to be ported over to these different platforms as well as Spreaker. And I want to thank everybody on those platforms that are listening. I want to thank everybody in the chat room that's kind of hung in there. I know some folks had to leave. We got my man Earl Owens in there. Thank you, 26/7 Technologies. Thank you for being here. CRU, thank you for being on the panel. I want to thank once again, Underrated Darkness, who you just heard, brother BMT, who actually helped me put this together when I called him or connected with him on the Google this morning. I want to thank Prophet of Thought. I want to thank D. Darrell. I want to thank who else was on here. We had brother George Makem, who came on here and dropped some real powerful knowledge. We had brother CRU that was on here and dropped some powerful knowledge. We had the elder himself, Bubba, who came on here and gave us a surprise and dropped some knowledge as well. Who else? We had so many people come through. It was brother Art. Art Style. He came over. Brother Art came through and he popped off some knowledge and gave some good information. So I want to thank everybody out there for listening to the program. This is a big clap to all of you that are supporting the program. We're live on a variety of platforms. And don't forget to subscribe to the program.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Thank you. Brother BMT, you're still with me. You got anything else you want to say, brother, before I put a crescendo on all of this?
Again, like I said, we thank y'all for joining us. We thank y'all for supporting Black Fathers. I'm coining We're the Black Fathers Coalition. I know there's a lot of things out there, but you just saw a coalition of Black successful men that are doing the work, not just in the home, but in the community as fathers. And I give all the praise to all these men. My eyes almost teared up when Info was talking about that feeling of you feel there is a God when you hold that life for the first time and it's in just the palm of your hand, you're holding life. And it's something where you solemnly say a prayer that let me get this right. Let me get this right. Let me be able to guide this one soul. So with info, what you just did today, this was one of the most powerful podcasts, vlogcasts of this year on all. I don't care whatever everybody else doing. This right here showed Black excellence because nobody else did this. You did this, brother. So I give you all praise for doing this right here.
Well, brother, let me just say thank you for your kind thoughts. I really appreciate what you said. It means a lot to me coming from you. You're a brother that I really respect. I think when I first encountered you on the O'Shea Duke Jackson show, we had a little bumpy road there because I didn't know you brothers. I didn't know, you hear brothers say things that you don't agree with, whether you're conservative or liberal. And what I did is I got caught up in all the, well, I'm a liberal or I'm this and that. And what we need to start doing more as Black people, even when we have different thoughts and different philosophies, because Black people are not monolithic. We don't all think alike. We need to really get to know people to know the soul of who they are. So the more that I had a chance to talk to you, that I know that there's more to you than just, well, this brother's a conservative or whatever. I can't put you in a bag, okay, and say this is what you are. No, I can't do that because you are multidimensional, as many Black men are, and we have to realize that no matter what our political affiliations are, religious, we are so multidimensional. You can't really just put us in a box and say this is what you are because of this reason. No, you can't do that. And so that's what I've learned over the time talking to you on panels and seeing you on panels and how you conduct yourself. You're passionate like me, which is one of the big reasons why I like you a lot, brother, because I have that same kind of passion. But a lot of times you're speaking true from experience, and you've gone through some things that many of us brothers older have not experienced and can only imagine. And you bring wisdom, so much strength and wisdom with you. I can't believe where you're going to be when you get more years on you, brother. Where you're going to be. I mean, you're going to be out the box because you have so much wisdom right now because you've lived a life that many people have never experienced and talk about. This is the reason why I'm gonna be honest with you. It has made ruffle people's feathers. I don't think that if you have not been married before or are married and have children, I really don't think you don't really have the experience to be talking about family, in my opinion. And I know on YouTube you have people who give their opinions about the Black family should be this and the Black family should be that. But oftentimes you have people giving these opinions who either have never been married, don't have kids themselves, or a family, so they don't really have a frame of reference to speak from. They really don't. They just have their opinions, and opinions are like everything. They're like asses, and we all got one. And we're all entitled to our opinion, but we're not entitled to our own facts, especially if you haven't really experienced family life yourself in terms of kids, a household that you have to manage, and having a wife and knowing what that really is. But yet all of a sudden you're an expert on relationships and what Black men should be doing. That's foolishness. It makes me laugh to my belly.
It do. And this is why, and I'm begging you, Info, that please keep up the good work. Keep bringing Black fathers on your panel so we can have more coalition conversations where we can talk about things about mental health. We can talk about genders, things are going on and the role switching, all that stuff. We got to show people that we are still here fighting, that our voices are never died. And if you can't carry the burden, I'll be there every step of the way to back you up. Would I be a Robin to your Batman? I don't care. We're not trying to get no money off of this. We just want to show people that Black fathers, we're still here fighting. That way, if a young man hears this podcast, I want you to understand this, brother. Get in touch with Information Man. This stuff is in the description. Contact any of us Black men. We'll stop and we'll find a way to contact you and answer any question. There's no wrong question that you can ask us. But believe me, when our children came to this world, we didn't know. But we damn sure wish that there was a man sitting down with us and say, it's okay, son. I know you messed up, but here's how you can fix it. I made mistakes. I was that father who left the home. I was that father who stumbled and stepped out. I'm not afraid to admit that. Why? Because I don't want the next man who comes after me to make the same mistakes. So I'd rather tell you where I fell so you can miss those landmines.
Right, right.
So
Well,
please listen to this podcast, brother.
So everybody, what we're gonna do right now, we're gonna end. I know folks have probably peeled off to go check out the Sunday Rumble over there in my man O'Shea Duke Jackson program, the Sunday Rumble. Everybody, sometimes I'm a fixture over there. Sometimes brother BMT is over there too. So everybody, I'm gonna give a shout out to my man O'Shea Duke Jackson, but most of all, let me give a shout out again to brother BMT. I want to thank everybody for being here, listening to the podcast today. I know folks are going to run over and check out other streams that are going on. Thank you out there. I want to thank everybody out there in the YouTube world, in the podcasting world, all the different platforms that are listening. And most of all, everybody, make sure you share this in your individual social media so that other people can hear this. We're talking about Black fathers. Come on now. Where else do you hear this type of content? Now, I know that there are Black men that are doing podcasts about this because I've done some research, but there are not enough of us. And where else are you going to hear content where you get Black men that were on this panel today who told you that they have families, their grandfathers, all right? Black men who have lost children, Black men that are stepfathers to children, all right? Mentors to children. Where else are you going to get this content? You're not getting it on television, ABC, NBC, all these alphabet channels. They're not giving it to you. They're not even giving it to you on the cable networks half the damn time. And when they do, they give you a watered down version. We gave you real version here. Not to toot our own horns, but goddamn it, I'll hit that bell. Okay? So where else can you get this kind of content at? I know O'Shea does great streams like this. Other people do great streams, but I'm saying, how often do you hear Black men coming together and speaking our truth about what we experience as fathers? You don't see it hardly. You might get a couple of articles on Essence and Ebony, right? But you're getting this from the everyday Black man here in society, not no damn celebrity or no damn athlete. You're getting it from everyday Black men that are on the streets, that are on the pavement. So go ahead and share this video and make sure you go over to my second damn channel and subscribe to my second channel, Information Man Speaks Podcast. It's in the description of this video. Click it, go over there, subscribe, support me. Now we got my man BMT, who's in the chat room right now. Click his avatar and you know what to do. Support his channel. Do it now. Thank you. Thank you, and share the video.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
And with that said, we're gonna call an end to the show now. I'm gonna put a crescendo on this show. I thank you all. I'm gonna leave you with a little bit of this music to lead us on out the door. Thank you, brother BMT, again, and everybody that was on the program today. This was fantastic. I want to give you all a clap.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Love you.
I'm just vibing, I'm feeling okay. I'm in the zone, let the piano play. I'm just vibing, I'm feeling okay. Do what I say and let the piano play. I'm just vibing, I'm feeling okay. I'm in the zone, let the piano play. I'm just vibing, I'm feeling okay. Do what I say and let the piano play. I love the sound, the piano got my ears open. Hit them keys just right, I'm gonna keep smoking. So mellow, so smooth, chill as fuck, you know it. Speed it on up, give a little gas. Burn them all up, need body bags. Pyro, Billy, I'm bad. When I come through the city, I leave ash. Both hands full, got 2 bags. I'm moving too fast, got no legs. Pull up, beat in the old jag. Get mad like I'm your dad. Give me a drink, little nigga, hold that. Hold that. 50 hat pimping in the throwback. Pull out them papers and roll out. Stay going in, don't hold back. Nigga, everybody know that. Can't smoke with a G, get your own sack. Can't smoke with a G, get your own sack. Stay going in, don't hold back. Nigga, everybody know that. Piano ain't no joke, boy. Yeah. I'm just vibing, I'm feeling okay. I'm in the zone, let the piano play.
Is power.
I'm just vibing, I'm feeling okay. Do what I say and let the piano play. I'm just vibing, I'm feeling okay. I'm in the zone, let the piano play. I'm just vibing, I'm feeling
Peace to everybody out there.
Do what I say and let the piano play. Love the motherfucking sign. Let the piano play. Let the piano play. Let the piano play.
Information is power.
Happy Father's Day to all fathers out there, and particularly to Black fathers. Thank you.